Poisonrana.
Hello.
Hello.
Braden Herrington here with Davie Portman for Poisonrana Live. You found us in whatever podcast app you're using right now, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, whatever it is. Click that download. It goes a long way. But it's Sunday, June 21st, 2:02 p.m., which means
we are live on youtube.com/@PoisonranaPod. There we go. How are we doing, everybody?
That's right. Can't forget the @ See, we're monetized, but we're not that monetized yet. So you can help us by clicking subscribe here on our YouTube. And if you're in the chat or maybe watching YouTube on a delay and a day later, drop a frog in the comments. It goes a long way as well. But welcome all the frogs and the friends. It's Sunday. Happy Father's Day to most people out here in at least North America. Hope you're.
It's the same day back home as well. Yeah.
Oh, what? So you have a different Mother's Day, but the same Father's Day?
Exactly.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, then, happy Father's Day to all. To all, a good night. Happy Father's Day to the daddies, the papas, the step daddies, the mamas and the papas, the mamas and the papas, the band as well.
Mama Cass. Yeah.
Yeah. Just all the mamas and the daddies out there. Happy Father's Day. I hung out with my dad last night, so
nice.
Luckily, I was able to sit here and talk about wrestling with you today. So, shout out dads worldwide. Did you say hi to your dad today?
I did. Yeah, he's having a meal with my brother and brother's girlfriend. I'll see him in a month or so. So we can celebrate then.
Yeah, absolutely. Hopefully, I can have a pint with him at the most magical place
the
on
community
Earth.
Center.
What is it? The Bourne End Community Center?
Bourne End Community Center. There you go.
Davey's dad, last time we went for All In 2023, your dad put us on quite the pub crawl around certain parts. It was very beautiful. It's very nice. So maybe we'll get to do that again.
Going to pubs older than Canada itself.
You know? Literally one of the pubs had like all this really old stuff and like ancient artifacts and really, really like cool and stuff. But then there was like one of them that had like a skeleton of a pirate up in one of the corners. And I was like, wow, that's a really cool replica. Wait a second. Is that just some dead pirate?
This pub being, 960 years old. It's right. It could be real. It could be real for sure.
Yeah, some sort of British pirate or something. But yeah, so hopefully we get to see your pops and have a few pops with him.
Yeah,
I know you have your flights booked. You're going home to because it's coming home. We'll get to that in a second, I'm sure. But some of our friends are booked as well to go to London, All In. So I'm the last one, and I was looking today while catching up on the wrestling. So hopefully in a few days I get on it because I want to go. I want to make sure I can come. So I'm excited. So I'm on it. I swear.
Absolutely. Yeah. Really excited. We've got, Montreal next month and then London the month after. We've got the World Cup going on in the city. It's a beautiful day out there. This summer's good.
Yeah. Yeah. It's summertime. I got my nice Juliet style balcony door open. Hear the birds chirping. Some construction, I'm sure, because it's downtown Toronto. But it's just lovely. So wherever you are, hope you're having a lovely weekend or lovely week. And summer's here. I'm excited. How are you with the World Cup? Have you hit your tipping point yet?
Oh, I'm exhausted. I'm absolutely exhausted. I'm still having fun. I'm really enjoying it, but I am absolutely exhausted. I'm either working like long shifts with where it's just go, busy, or I'm bar hopping watching all the games. So either way, it's exhausting. I haven't really relaxed much, but I'm loving it. I'm having such a fun time with it all. I've been really enjoying all the games so far. Been enjoying meeting people from all over the world. Met a bunch of Panamanians, bunch of Germans, some Turkish, some
turkeys.
Yeah, met some turkeys the other day. No, it's been fantastic. I felt like the the vibes have been really good in the city the last week or so with the World
It's really
Cup.
crazy. Busy. Like busy. We're already like this huge like melting pot of all these different cultures and communities. So they all show up for the games, whether or not they're tourists in their own city or actual tourists visiting for some of these games. It still is crazy seeing all these foreigners go crazy for Taco Bell. Like now I'm seeing even more. That's still the one that it's like, or the one guy who's famous kind of blew up today. He came here and he's like, wow, Canada, Toronto is amazing. Wow, I'm so glad I came here for the World Cup. Having a lovely dinner at a place called Denny's. It's like, oh, for fuck, dude. All right. I mean, to each their own. To each their own. Like, I had an Uber driver in Montreal the other day. He says he drives an hour every time, an hour there and an hour back for his kids because they don't have Popeyes there. So he drives an hour, 2 hours for Popeyes. I'm like, man, that's just something like there's so many here, and it's not the greatest. So like, take what we are just used to certain things, but it's just so funny seeing the culture shock of all these different people, not only here in Canada, but seeing online, like down in Houston or Atlanta, all the other American places. It's crazy. It's
the
awesome.
Scots taking over Fenway. That was pretty fun. Singing Proclaimers throughout. There's been announcements to remind people like traveling mainly back to Europe that ranch dressing goes in your checked luggage. You can't take it through in your personal bag. I'm not a ranch dressing guy.
Please be careful.
It isn't back home, and people have been going crazy. Now I'm more of a blue cheese dressing.
Davie, if you thought we got any pushback for shitting on the White House front lawn white trash party last week with the UFC, remember what happened the last time I trashed ranch dressing on one of our shows? They came for me.
Ranch sucks. Like, fuck off with your honey garlic wings with ranch dressing.
Hey, come on. No, but then it goes back.
Man, hot wings and blue cheese. There we go.
Some people like what they like, and that's totally okay. But seeing all the uproar of this ranch, like, wow, ranch dressing. I'm like, really? That's the one thing? Like, okay, like blue cheese for sure. I didn't like it when I was a kid, but now I love it. I have to have it with my buffalo wings. But to each their own. It's just crazy seeing that, like, hey, ranch dressing. It's like, isn't it just, I feel like we've had this conversation like literally 5 years ago. And that was when I was like, what even is ranch dressing? And then we decided to look at, I'm pretty sure it's like sour cream and like an onion powdery kind of thing, right? Like,
garlic and peppercorns usually.
Yeah. Ranch.
It sounds like
it ranch
should be good, but it doesn't do it for me. It doesn't do it for me at all.
Yeah, I know that it's a big thing down in the States, like it. Yeah,
and honey garlic wings. If I wanted to eat sweet stuff, I'd buy a bag of Haribo. Come on.
I never order them, but I've had like honey garlic, some tenders or something other with honey garlic in it, and I do like it, but I don't necessarily order it, and it always is part of some sort of like party platter when you get stuff, whether you're at a party or whatever. Like somehow the honey garlic, maybe it's like meatballs or something. That's all right. Those are all right. But yeah, still, I understand. But again, if people are going crazy over Taco Bell and ranch because they don't get it back home, cool. All the power. Like when I go and we go back to London, for me, we don't have Weatherspoons. So it's, it's something I'm going to be like excited to go back to. Whereas people who live there are like, really? You're going to a Spoons? Like there's so many places you could go to. But
like I find, do it once. Like, go to your Denny's, go to your Chili's, your Olive Gardens, whatever, like your Applebee's. Do it once, but then, like, especially if you're in, like, a Toronto or in New York, like, some of the best food in the world is here. Like, try that as well. Like, I do get it. Like, although, IHOP and all those sort of places we don't have in the UK or Europe. So I get it. You want that, like, proper like American experience, but when it's like every day is Denny's, Tim Hortons, and Applebee's or whatever, it's like, ooh, come on. It upsets me a little.
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, it's like we have Dunkin' coming to Toronto soon, and that's going to try to rival Timmy's. But it's like, well, it's still kind of like fast food coffee. Like for me, I like milk and sugar in my coffee, so therefore Timmy's is fine to me. Whereas once in a while you want to pay a little extra and you get the nicer thing. It's kind of like that with food where, okay, you can get the fast food equivalent, which, hey, will hit the spot for sure. But, you know, you want the actual experience. And Toronto, we're such a food city. And it's really cool seeing all the different cultures who are visiting being like, oh, like, I'd say if you were to visit our city, Japanese food seems to be like the number one. Like you throw a coin on the street, it will land in front of some sort of Japanese, a sushi place, like a Japanese curry plate. Like they are the number one. I wouldn't say we have the highest Japanese people population here, but for some reason, like the food is, I think, the number one. There's no other like kind of culture that has more restaurants than that. I'd say in our city.
Mm. Yeah, a lot of Japanese, a lot of Korean as well. Some, Chinese. But yeah, like our food seems fantastic here. So do yourself a favor and check out some of that as well.
So we going to Denny's to watch the Team Canada game this week. What the fuck is up, Denny's? Let's go.
Do they have TVs at Denny's?
Let's bring our own, bro. They
probably do. Like everywhere. I was watching. I can't remember what game was on. It was the Germany game yesterday. As I'm walking to work, and like I can pretty much like watch the game on my walk to work because everywhere has TVs on outside. So I'm like cool. Every 20, 30 seconds, I'm still watching the game, you know? But need to figure out I need to figure out where I'm going for England. Need to figure out where I'm going for Canada. Been going to a Japanese bar for the Japan games. That was fun. They won 4-0 last night. That was a good time.
Nice.
Drinking some sake was very good.
I mean, Team Canada, big game this week, right? Like, I mean, we said last week, like, even if we win, lose, or draw, like just being featured in the World Cup is crazy big for Canada, and having games played here is such a crazy big ordeal. But then not only like they tied a game, and I was shocked that they even scored that one goal with like injuries and stuff. And then this game this week, they just absolutely crushed. We had that injury, that nasty. It's like wrestling when they don't show the replay. Zoom in like that, you know something was wrong. And that leg injury was gnarly. That was some Sid Vicious type stuff, Sid Justice. And then what was he huffing? He was like huffing some pain meds, like getting lit,
gas and air.
Yeah,
you know, like
I want what that is. What's that? I want my inhaler
gas
to do that
kind of thing. Numbs the pain.
Yeah, it's similar to like these inhalers and stuff. So I'm like, oh damn, I want some of that. I'm sure you needed it. But then for the sub to come in and score the goal, like that was just crazy. So what was it? 6 goals.
6-0, which currently that puts us top of the group because if there's like a tie in points, it goes by goal difference. So we are tied with Switzerland right now, but we've scored more goals than them, so we're ahead, which is cool. So we're facing them. So if we tie or we win, we come top of the group. But it's we're pretty much qualified to the next round regardless.
Wow. Look, I think everyone was expecting Canada to not necessarily do so great. So that was a kind of a...
I don't know about that. I wouldn't say that. I like the group they're in, they should qualify. Like they should, like they're capable of qualifying. You know, that Qatar and blanking on the other team. But Switzerland will be the tough one. But yeah, I don't think anyone necessarily expected a 6-0 thrashing like they did, which is awesome.
It was crazy. We had a group of friends and we were at your new bar that you've been working at on Queen Street, and it was like jammed, like packed, standing room for this game. And then everywhere downtown was just crazy packed. I think the game started at 6. So like I think everyone who's trying to get off their Monday to Friday 9 to 5 or 6 job, they're trying to rush to a bar downtown to go watch it. And it was a cool environment. And then especially when we were up, like started scoring, the streets were just like alive, and it's a cool thing. So I think that maybe we get just wrecked by Switzerland, but at least we have one win in a World Cup, and it was on Canadian soil. History. So yeah, good for us.
Absolutely.
Canada. We have Canada Day coming up soon too. So I'm looking forward to that.
Bosnia, as the chat reminded me, the other team in the group. Canada Day is coming up.
4th of July coming up too. What, the 250? crazy. It's gonna be a hot
we
summer.
don't need to worry about any of that. But we've got some fun plans for the summer. It's like Canada advancing, you know, Canada Day coming up. It's good time to be alive in the six.
Absolutely. I mentioned I'm the last to book for All In, but if anyone out there listening to us all these months ahead, not only a few now, we will be making our way for All In, and we will sort of announce where maybe we could do some sort of hangout that weekend, whether or not like it's at a pub before the show or something along those lines. So if you are making your way for All In at Wembley this year, follow the space, because we will probably try to say like, hey, meet us at a bar and whatnot. We got a few familiar faces. I'm sure the Grapple lads got some things planned as well, and it would be really nice to meet up with them and say what up. So and then the same goes for Montreal. Any Canadians or people traveling in for the AEW Redemption in Montreal in about a month's time, we will be there. So possibly, you know, meet up at a bar around the corner or something before the show. And if you're making your way, let us know, because we'd love to see you. But those 2 weekends, so like one weekend in July and then one later in August, we'll be covering a bunch of the wrestling going on. We'll be doing tons of road diaries as we did. Davie, over under on promising we'll do over 12 bars. What did we do in one night? 13 bars?
13 bars.
I don't think we need to do that run again anytime soon, but we can, you know, still stop off at a few bars.
You sound like a guy that eats honey garlic wings. Come on.
I literally don't. Like throwing these accusations.
Come on, we can do it. We can do 14 bars. There you go.
Yeah, sure. But yeah, we have some fun stuff planned with a lot of the like snap-ranas that we do and road diaries. So be sure to follow the space. And best way to follow us, poisonrana.ca, links to our Instagram, our TikTok. Shout out Seren WO. I see you in the chat, who's been killing it with helping us with a lot of these reels that you may or may not have seen on our socials. So go check them out. Drop them a little heart, a little like, or a comment. It goes a long way. And check out all the stuff that we have going on there. But patreon.com/poisonrana, $5 a month to get hundreds of shows. We do a Was Next series where we go back through old NXT. We do movie reviews, wrestling reviews. We just dropped our King of the Ring 1996. We're talking about Stone Cold Steve Austin and his 316 promo that goes on to change wrestling and wrestling t-shirts forever. Plus Undertaker Mankind, Bulldog versus Shawn, and so much more from that pay-per-view. We're a little delayed on our Jackass review, but it will be available sometime tonight. We basically had to just put a little pause in it just because of timing. We were going too long. Too much to talk about. All the dicks and balls and Steve-O and Party Boy. So we are going to finish that a little later today and get our Jackass the movie review up there. But to keep it with the wrestling, we're doing another review this week to tie in with something else. Yeah, a big one.
Great American Bash NXT taking place next weekend. A lot of wrestling going on next weekend. And yeah, we decided to go back 30 years, just like we did with King of the Ring, but this time to talk about WCW Great American Bash 1996. And my God, this card looks incredible. Being headlined with The Giant versus Lex Luger for the WCW World Heavyweight title. Yeah, we might regret this one.
Do we have to do this?
Sting versus Lord Steven Regal. Hey, okay, here's one for you. John Tenta versus Big Bubba. You know who Big Bubba is?
No.
That's Boss Man, Ray Traylor.
Wow. Okay.
Okay. Lord of the Ring match. Diamond Dallas Page versus Marcus Alexander Bagwell. Steiners versus, here's a favorite of ours. Fire and Ice. Ice Train and Scott Norton.
Ooh, I love me some Ice Train. Ice Train.
Conan versus El Gato. Get well soon. Conan recently undergoing double leg amputation. Awful.
El Gato, is that like a computer system?
That means the cat. Yeah.
I guess it's the cat.
Pat Tanaka. Dean Malenko versus Rey Mysterio Jr. That should be.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, a lot to talk about there.
I like how you left that one at the very end.
Yes.
Because everything else on that didn't necessarily sound good. So
no.
It's going to make for a great review. The Great American Bash, 1996. King of the Ring, 96. We're looking at both things that were going on this month, 30 years ago in the world of wrestling. You get all those shows plus everything else. Like I said, we recently done some movie reviews, Dog Day Afternoon, all these things up there. $5 if you want to support us. Check us out. It connects to your RSS feed, your podcast feed, and you hear all the pods you'll want for a whole month's access. And the summer, we're going to keep the hits on coming. So appreciate everyone who wants to check us out. If you've never done it before, it's $5 and check us out. But all the free stuff you can get right here on this very free feed. A like, a download, all the little things that go a long way to help us as well. So appreciate the love with the frogs and the friends out there.
And super chats are open as well. If you'd like to drop a super chat during the show, a little tip, if you were, you can ask us questions, comments, whatever. We will read them out and we will give you a great big thank you.
I was looking up what was going on in the world of wrestling today. I was catching up on all my wrestling before we talked about it right now. And I saw a post on, Reddit r/squared circle, which sometimes I lurk just for news updates of wrestling, if I'm not on postwrestling.com, obviously. And there was a comment that someone had posted for today for Father's Day. And it said something like, in kayfabe, who's the worst dad ever in the history of WWE? And right away, I think of Vince, because I'm talking kayfabe. The question was kayfabe.
Oh, in story. Okay.
Yeah,
right.
kayfabe.
Okay.
Kayfabe.
I was wondering where we were going here. Yeah.
No. I was going to say, there's been some bad dads in the world of WWE. Kayfabe now. All you people thinking the same thing. And clearly my brain went to Vince. So I was wondering, because of the whole Dominic Mysterio deadbeat dad thing, is Rey Mysterio up there as bad dads? I mean, he literally put Dom on the line in a ladder match.
He did that, and I think children are reflections of the parents, and that Dom seems like a piece of shit. So yeah, I guess Rey's terrible.
Yeah. There's been some bad dads, but still, William Regal in NXT, he's not giving his son a push, so it's not necessarily great. Ooh, I see yeah.
Well, he helped form a stable, didn't he?
I guess. I see Jake in the chat says Kurt Angle and Jason Jordan. Yeah, true. Another father-dad relationship that Kurt Angle just disowned him or something. I guess he got him a job as a producer.
What about Tori Wilson's dad?
Oh, shout out to Rip, right? In a storyline? Yeah. I think he might be alive in real life. I don't want to.
He died shortly before her Hall of Fame induction.
Right.
It was the week of, right?
So you're talking about the storyline though, with him and who was the storyline with? Sable?
No, it was
Marie.
The other
someone Marie.
No, it wasn't. No,
Anne Marie? No, that's that girl. That's one of our listeners.
Who was it? Wasn't it
Dawn Marie?
Hemi? Dawn Marie.
Marie. Dawn Marie. SmackDown 2000s era. Yeah, true. Man, that actor got it all. That wasn't her real dad.
It was, wasn't it?
Was it her real dad?
I thought it was her real dad.
Good for him, man.
Yeah,
good for him. You know what else happened kayfabe wise with Tori Wilson?
What's that?
Tajiri.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. True.
Happy Father's Day to Tajiri.
Yes.
The Known Wolf in the chat says, what about Mark Henry being the father of Mae Young's hand? Yes.
That's
great
true.
Father in the world of WWE kayfabe. Yeah. I mean, he's a good father, I guess. Was he? I don't know. He wasn't a good wrestler.
Oh, no, he didn't really raise. We did see the hand come back, didn't we? As a
right, yeah.
All grown up. But I don't know. I haven't seen the hand in the PC. Like his other kids.
I'm trying to think of all the other babies and dads in WWE. There was Kane, and then Snitsky kicked his baby. But then it wasn't actually his baby, or was it? So neither of them good dads, I guess. Also not good mayors. But Yeah, there you go. Sorry,
was Rick Flair kayfabe a good dad?
I don't know. What did he say to Natty that one time on TV? Yeah, I mean, he might be a good dad for like at least he has good intentions, right? Kayfabe wise.
I'm not too familiar with the David Flair, Ric Flair story. I mean, he got Undertaker beat the shit out of him, didn't he?
Sure.
So he let that happen.
Yeah. What happened? Just Johnny Gargano's dad got beat up one time in wrestling, right? Did Adam Cole
Cena's
slap
dad's
him?
been beaten up.
Oh, my favorite when Edge slaps him. Down goes Cena. Oh man, yeah. True. John Cena's dad is always in the world of wrestling for some reason. He's always popping up at like places, and it's like, oh, cool. It's John Cena's dad. It's nice. Yeah. Anyways, happy Father's Day to all
Vince
the dads.
Is the worst. Vince is the worst. Yeah.
He literally had matches against his kids and like whooped them in it. So like, I think he's the worst, but maybe in real life too. I don't know. But anyways, happy Dad's Day to all of you, and kayfabe or not. We're going to talk about some wrestling. We have what seems like a big weekend of wrestling next week. What is it? We got SmackDown on the Friday. We got Night of Champions on the Saturday. There's probably a Collision in there. There's probably some sort of AAA something in there, at least if it's a taped show or not on the YouTube. Then you got TNA pay-per-view on the Sunday. Then you got Forbidden Door. And at the same time, you got Great American Bash.
Yeah, it's a ridiculous weekend. It's absolutely bonkers and stupid. There's so much going on. I don't know how much I'm going to be able to catch because you got the World Cup going on as well at the same time, which it's insane. A stupid week of wrestling. Like, come on, guys, what are we thinking here? Do we really need 4 pay-per-views in a weekend? Ridiculous.
You know what I said last week, that I'm not into the Forbidden Door. Like, I feel like this whole Forbidden Door thing is just kind of like a pit stop, and it's been kind of wrecking the vibes of how well I think AEW's been on this like wild run, and it's kind of pumping the brakes a little bit and maybe cooling things down to then reheat for All In possibly. I'm wondering if that's deliberate because of like the World Cup. Maybe this is a downtime for where the interests of people might be watching other stuff. I'm not sure.
I think in a way it's maybe that's part of it. I think as well, a lot of the all-in stories feel I think for a while people have been able to kind of predict where we're going with certain things, and I think this pay-per-view is a good way to tread water a little bit while still being interesting. You know, like you can have your Okadas, Fletchers, and Takeshita's, and your Speedballs, and no, Speedball isn't in that match, is he? But or is he? Is he in the cage?
I don't think so.
Yeah. I don't think so. But yeah, you can keep your a lot of your storylines still going without burning through the singles match, and I think that's something they seem to be doing with Forbidden Door. And we have had announced this week a few more Forbidden Door style matches, but I think that's the thing when they're doing so many pay-per-views now that you know, we're gonna know what the at least who the winners of the Owen are, and then you've still got a couple of months before All In. So it definitely feels like a bit of a roadblock kind of pay-per-view. But I'm sure it's gonna be incredible, like, because they always are.
Yeah, like I definitely have some gripes about how the build is for this and how it is kind of stopping the momentum that I do feel like they were on, especially with Double or Nothing, the last pay-per-view in Queens that we were at. That was just like incredible. And to come off the heels of one of their biggest shows ever, what felt like it at least, it feels like they've pumped the brakes and cooled off quite a bit. And again, maybe there's other stuff, there's World Cup and everything, but it hasn't been as gripping as it has been as a fan, I think, for the last few months. The past few pay-per-view cycles have been really incredible stuff. So I just feel like, as much as I'm not necessarily feeling this cycle into this Forbidden Door, I know as soon as it ends, I'm going to be like, wow, that was some awesome stuff. That was an incredible show with some great wrestling. Looking at this card at a quick glance, I'm like, oh yeah, no worries whatsoever that this isn't going to be worth your money, because it totally will. Like, some of these matches are going to be crazy and be great. So totally get it, but still, I'm like, all right, selfishly, let's get back to the story though. We're going off the curve a little. We introduced some side characters this season, and then now we're gonna go figure out what their problem is. But once we do that, let's go back to the real juicy part of the story, and let's go back to where we go. And adding this redemption pay-per-view, this is the first time they've done that. That could be a nice little spoke in the wheel of like, hey, we can change things up here. We can do this is a redemption match. We could do the rematch to get championships or to get opportunities to be in the championship matches or something. You can play with that. And there is the maybe that redemption rumble thing that could also maybe be, there could be some merit to that thing actually happening. So I think they have their plans and they know exactly what they're doing, and hopefully it works. But
I will push back a little. What of the story aren't they telling right now? Because you still have MJF story going on. You still have Takeshita Okada, Fletcher. You still have Ospreay, Swerve. You still have Omega, who's building up his wins to go for the title. Like, they are still telling those stories. I wouldn't really say they've been put on hold.
I just feel like we got to this tournament, and sure, it's going to end at this thing. I feel like the story with MJF and Darby, it ended, and then okay, where are we going into next? Well, it's Mark Briscoe. So this whole pay-per-view is going to be this 6-on-6 death match, cage match, so that he gets a title match, which is probably just going to be a TV title match. We've done that feud already, like beaten to death last year. It was good, but we've seen it so much that I'm like, okay, why are we went from what, again, felt like this huge culmination of MJF and Darby, and it just feels like we're going to Kane as the first title defense of this reign. Like, oh yeah, let's just go to that.
But in telling this story, you're telling the story at the same time of Andrade wanting a shot, of Kevin Knight wanting a shot. You are tying up that loose end of Mark Briscoe beating MJF like before the title. It's like I think that's been the story of both this and the last MJF title reign, is all the challenges he's got going for him. And I do think they're still telling that story right now.
Would you say you're as hyped as for this show as like some of the last, I'd say the last like 3, like felt like really like some good stories going in, matches you were really excited about?
I agree, but I think saying that they're not telling stories right now is not true.
I'm not saying they're
pushing back on. I'm saying like I have preferred like the look of cards for other shows, but I think saying that they've just put everything on hold for Forbidden Door is untrue.
I don't know. I would say that like where were all the CMLL and New Japan? Even it doesn't seem like there's a whole lot of them even on this card, but it still feels like we've went 180. My biggest gripe is when they come off this hot pay-per-view and the Dynamite right away is like B level show, like just the no connecting the stories from the last show. And I feel like this whole cycle is almost feeling like that. I watched Dynamite and I feel like the crowd this week were pretty dead for most of what the show was. There was some good stuff on the show, and I'm complaining because I'm like, oh, I loved where we were going with all these different stories, but then I don't know what you would do. What are you going to book MJF versus like the champion of New Japan, who's vocally said he doesn't even want to be on this show? Like, I feel like the Forbidden Door thing just isn't. It isn't as exciting. It isn't as like, oh wow, we're getting all these like. There's no matches you want to see.
But they're also not trying to do that. Like that, you're kind of they're kind of booking that. You're sort of saying 2 different things there, because they're not doing that. They're sprinkling in a few matches, like your Pac and Shota and your Kenny and Zach and Tekla Starlight Kid, while still telling the stories they've been telling since the beginning.
It sounds okay. Like, I'm not saying they're not telling stories. They were telling really good stories for this whole year as a fan. I think it's like since the lead up to All In and even the Owen last year, I just think they've been on a run. Like they've been on fire. And out of that whole year, this is the first time I'm like, I'm a little uninterested compared to that. And I think like we've seen the Forbidden Door with all the other things, and I like this year, it feels like the least actually, mixing and matching the verses and stuff. It feels very, very unlike the others. unless you look at the one big match where it's Kenny and Zack Sabre Jr. And this week, I'm just saying the storytelling's a little lazy because last week it's just randomly Ricochet like, yeah, Takeshita, we're gonna fight. That match isn't on the show, but this week you had Kenny be like, oh, by the way, Zack, if I beat you, I should probably get a title shot. It's like, okay, that sounds sick because I do want to see you get a title shot, but creatively, like, could we have not maybe set that up before, or like he just randomly throws it out? Yeah, I think we'll fight, and then if I'm better than you still, then I should probably get a match against Max. I'm like, cool, I want to see it, but the story is a little lazy. And I feel that way with maybe the cycle for Forbidden Door. I'm gonna eat my words because it's gonna be a great show. But I'm just on how I feel about this. This story of.
I'm not disagreeing that Dynamite's not been as good as it has been.
Okay.
I don't think we've been shitting on New Japan for a while. They don't have the stars, so I think picking the matches that they've done has been smart. Having it as a pay-per-view to continue telling those stories whilst not necessarily burning through stuff, because what you don't want is to get to end of August and we just want to, like, we're sick to death of these stories now and we just want let's get the match. Like, how many times have we said that about like either AEW in the past or WWE, where can we just see the fucking match now and move on? I think there is that thing where you're trying to pace things accordingly, but I think some of my problem with this week and last week is the pacing and the order of the show. I think both Owens we're going to go into the women's main event from Collision, which is a great story they've been telling with Owen. I think in the men's in particular, we've said many times, you look at the brackets and you instantly could see who's winning what match and who's going to the final. And I think that's where story has been lacking and has made that tournament not very exciting. Now, we might be sitting down and watching, Davis and Ospreay had a great match, but like there was no question who's winning that. Swerve and Brody had a good match, but there was no question who's winning that. And I think that's been a big problem with Owen this year as compared to like last year's, which is I think the best version they've done of it, where you had some big names in that tournament and it was a toss-up who's winning between Hangman and Ospreay. They did a really good job with Swerve and Ospreay this week, but there's no doubt for me who's winning that thing. And then on top of that, just pacing of the shows, starting like last week with Shane Taylor Promotions, who are not a Dynamite act usually. I'm blanking right now, but this week kind of did the same. I know these Kenny squash matches are fun to watch, but just seeing Tony Nese in the ring, you're like, ugh, it feels less than. So that's been, and then just random Death Riders match. Like I'm sick of the Death Riders opening the show. Like I'd much rather just have the top of Dynamite this week. Ospreay comes out with his mission statement and start hot with that promo segment rather than in the middle of the show. I think sometimes for me, when I switch on Dynamite and I'm hyped, and then Shane Taylor Promotions comes out, I'm like, oh, what is this? And I think that's where maybe they're being distracted a little bit. Like it should be a bit more star laden. Like, why is Ricochet cutting these promos backstage? Get him in the ring. I think sometimes you could cut a match on Dynamite and have another like promo segment or whatever, because they're good at them. Like they're normally pretty fun to watch, and AEW gives us enough wrestling where you could sacrifice that a bit more. Have Kenny in front of the crowd giving us his mission statement a bit more and setting and defining, as you said, the match with Zack a little clearer. But it is a lot of video packages, and I would maybe do less backstage and more in the ring. And I think, start with your main eventer, start with your big names, close with your big names. I don't want to see Shane Taylor opening the show. No disrespect to Shane Taylor, but he's not a character in like main PLE pay-per-view AEW. He's a Collision Ring of Honor guy. And that's where I felt like it's been down for me recently. Forbidden Door, it is what it is. Like I'd rather them do what they're doing than give us all these matches where it's Jungle Boy versus Yota Tsuji and MJF versus Yuya Uemura or something like that, and matches that don't really mean anything. I'd rather them be selective and just give us a Zack versus Kenny, because that sounds awesome, and a Tekla versus Starlight Kid, and then maybe one sort of 6-man tag or whatever, but continue focusing on your main stories.
Yeah, it definitely feels like this whole distracted. You said that word, and that's definitely how it feels of like, okay, we're doing all this stuff, and then once we get back on track, at least this still weaves in the story of the Owen and Ospreay and everything, and then post this, there's one that new pay-per-view in Montreal. We don't know, like, that could be, you know, a big turning point if we've been banging the drum of, oh, hey, is it Kenny Ospreay as the main event? He's talking about it now for the last few weeks of like, yeah, I'm gonna fight MJF again. It's like, oh, I guess that is the route that we're gonna go to. But there was some good stuff on Dynamite this week. I did enjoy, like, I love MJF, and I know that there might be the stuff with his injury and stuff that also might add into why there's like multi-man cage match and not just a big defense. Maybe they wanted to go to Briscoe for the pay-per-view. I don't know, but he mentioned Kenny at the beginning of the show, basically like, keep your name out of your mouth. I've beaten you twice. Briscoe, they feel bad for you because your brother died. And Will, I beat you before, and I'm going to beat you again at Wembley. So he's pretty much telling Ospreay that I'm waiting for you. I will fight you. So it still could go that direction, but I'm now decided. I'm booking this flight for Kenny and Ospreay. Okay, so let's go.
I definitely think that's where we're going. I think MJF is kind of doing the heel version of the Darby Allin run. You know, he's inadvertently setting up all these challenges because, all right now his focus is on not having that match with Mark Briscoe because he's scared, because the last time they fought, Briscoe won. So he's trying to put that match off and in doing so, he's had to guarantee a match with Kevin Knight and guarantee a match with Andrade down the line. So we've got 3 title matches probably between now and Redemption for MJF. And I think that's how eventually he breaks, and that's how Kenny goes on to win it. I do think Kenny and Ospreay is the main. But Hangman being mentioned twice this week by both MJF and Swerve, like, you could go back to MJF Hangman if MJF isn't the champ, or you could do Swerve Hangman. I think they're possible options for All In as well. Yeah,
there's a few things. What about the Mick Foley factor? They've been quiet on that front, but I feel like, again, once we get out of Forbidden Door, we're kind of back on track into like the 2 next big months. And I wonder if he wrestles at Wembley, and I wonder if MJF's involved, if Hangman would be involved, if Briscoe's involved. Maybe it's like a stadium stampede, and that's how you get Foley involved in this match.
Yeah. But I like that. And you don't necessarily need Foley to be in a singles match. Like, think Sting didn't have a singles match, and doing a kind of brawl or whatever could be good, a multi-person thing.
Yeah. I'm just wondering if that is still something, like, it sounds crazy, but I imagine he's coming to AEW to have one more match. And if that's some sort of, you know, plunder thing, multi-man thing, then so be it. But I have a feeling he's looking to do that. So I wonder if MJF, if they would go back to that. But we should go through the card and then kind of maybe go through each match and maybe what's been going on with the build for it. I guess we'll first start with the tag team match. Cope and Christian defending against the Dogs. What the Dog doing? Finley and Clark Connors, who stole that 5-second pose, pissed all over Cope and Christian, and now Christian and Cope return, attack the Dogs, and challenge them to a match at this show. Do Christian and Cope know that the Dogs work for AEW and not New Japan now? because they kept saying like, "You're coming into our house," and then like they repeated something like, "You know, this is our territory," and like Forbidden Door. I'm like, wait a second, you guys do know that.
They're still relatively new, aren't they?
Yeah.
AEW, and I think that's like because right from their debut, they've been like they felt like outsiders, like trying to stir shit up. But I know what you mean. This definitely feels like a bit of a filler tag match before we get to the big ones. But I don't hate what they've been doing, and I actually really hope Connors and Finlay step it up. Like if this match delivers, it could raise their stock because I think their promos have been pretty good. I've kind of liked these angles they've been doing.
Yeah, I like
even though we all know Cage and Cope are winning this and going on for bigger things with probably the Bucks and FTR, etc. But I haven't hated this, and I do like that both. I'm really happy Cage hasn't sacrificed this character he's built during his time in AEW, and it works. You know, like sometimes Cope is like, "Oh, you shouldn't have gone there," and other times he's like, "Yeah, fuck these guys."
Yeah.
Christian, talk about Fit Finlay coming down his leg instead of giving birth.
You know, I'm Toronto my whole life. Toronto in my blood, and I grew up watching Edge and Christian. And part of me, when they teamed back up and all that stuff, like I liked the All Out match against FTR, but part of me was like, oh man, is this gonna ruin what was going with Christian, and is this gonna fizzle out like pretty quickly? And I think they did a really good job, especially with the last two and the last FTR match, the I Quit match at Double or Nothing. And part of me was like so happy to see that, like, wow, they are actually making this work. It's the odd couple, basically. It's the good cop, bad cop here, where Edge is just Edge. I know Cope like maybe isn't always everyone's favorite because he is kind of doing like, hey, I'm just myself and I'm just being the same guy kind of thing. Greatest hits, whatever. But it works so much better when you have him with Cage, Christian, who's being still this, you know, dickhead asshole character. So
we all have that friend, right? Where it's like where people come up to you and like, Braden, your friend's a bit of a dick, and you're like, yeah, he is. I don't know why I'm friends with him, but I am. Like
he's just angry.
It's just it is what it is. They're like, why are you friends with that guy? And you're like, I don't know. We are and we have been and like been stuck for 10 years now. So that's how it is. But no, I get he's a jerk, right?
I just so part of me is like, wow, I actually really enjoy these guys doing this, and I'm so happy that it's actually working. Again, I really love that match with them and FTR, and I've been liking the dogs. I love the attack on them, setting up like the dogs are like, yo, we grew up watching you, and we thought, why not make a name for ourselves attacking you? And I love Cope and Christian here bringing up like the APA, Road Dogg and Billy Gunn, and like how they were up and comers and all that. But on top of that, Adam Copeland was wearing a tragically hip hoodie and a Lords of Gastown hat, which is like a Vancouver-based, like pretty cool Canadian company. So representing the double Canada and the hip, getting a shout out on TV. So I think the dogs have been doing a fine job. I've been into them, and I hope they get their ass beat at Forbidden Door.
I get the feeling as well this is a much better placement for Cage and Cope, because like Cope especially has his detractors, but you can't really complain much about this. I think it's the tag division. I think the lowest part of last year was when he was feuding with Mox over the title, and it didn't work. It didn't feel right. And I think this is perfect placement for them on the card as well.
I see obviously Coping Christian retaining, but then we still want to get to somehow this dream match, TLC, Young Bucks, FTR, possibly New Day, Machine Guns. I don't know. We're fantasy booking this insane tag team division that actually could come to life in AEW this summer with all these teams out on the market, and there's room for that division to be injected with some of these bigger tag teams. I'm speaking of the Guns and New Day, if they do decide to come over, which I would imagine they show up in some way, shape, or form, wrestling or not, at Wembley. Like that's got to be it's got to be an easy dub right there. Seeing them show up.
I would think so.
Yeah.
What I found interesting this week on Dynamite was Brodito coming back together and beating Mox and Garcia. Now, I could see this two ways. Either we're building up Brodito for redemption and Brodito versus Cage and Cope, which could be a really fun match. And last year Brodito won at All In, didn't they? Yes, I think they won the titles at All In.
No, way after that. No? A little after that, yeah.
Was it? They were in that tag match at All In, weren't they?
I don't think so. I think they were in the 21 man thing.
Oh right, yeah, because you had Takeshita and
I think they won in the fall. They won in the fall. Okay.
Well, anyway, you could go to that match, but also what I found interesting was they've just beaten like Mox and Garcia. And they're celebrating. It's the first time they've been a team for a while. And they're like, I think it's Brody says, yeah, we may have been doing our singles thing, but we're still a tag team and we're still a great tag team. And Bandito's like, yeah, so I want singles gold. And I wonder if I wonder if this split is going to happen and whether we're just temporarily putting them back together. A heel Brody King run could be. He's very popular, but I don't. At the moment, he's at that level, isn't he? He's not breaking. He's had some main event matches, but he's not like breaking through to main event pay-per-view level yet. And maybe a little Bandito feud would be cool.
Yeah, I could totally see that. I like Brody, and I think a heel turn could be the fresh coat of paint. I know we've seen him in the multi groups with the spooky lads and the tattoos and stuff, but like I feel like on his own it could really maybe help shape. I feel like he's a popular character amongst a lot of the AEW sickos, so turning him heel, I don't know, that's a tough call because he's kind of well loved. I also got to shout out Brody King and his Adidas boots because Sierra was wearing them at the World Cup. And people were quick to spot that she was wearing Brody King's Adidas special edition shoes. And I'm like, what? Nice. That is amazing. So, yeah, he is kind of breaking through with, I think so many places reported the fuck ice chants that still happen now in his matches. That also really put like some eyes onto him and to AEW. So a heel turn, maybe Bandito versus Brody at All In.
Yeah.
Would that make more sense?
Like, with the Ring of Honor title?
Yeah, sure. Or, that could be the final battle that they did, right? I wonder if they're going to do one in London as well for that.
I don't think so. I think they'd have announced that by now.
Or not final battle, but yeah.
There is the Rev Pro show going on, so I could see some talent on that. But
there was, sticking on the tag teams in AEW, there was a post from FTR Bald, I think, or was it FTR? Which one's Dax? Which one's Dawson? FTR basically saying they're basically going on a break right now. They said that they're taking a break from wrestling. They need a little physical and mental break, but they reminded people that they have some indie dates, including the Rev Pro show. So I kind of imagine that tips you off that they still are going to be back for All In and that huge TLC match.
They're coming all the way to London just for
Rev Pro.
Yeah. I don't think so.
Yeah. We going to that show? Any interest in going to that show?
Yeah, I'm interested in going. It's easy.
I'd be down.
It's right by Wembley. So can do it and have a bit of a night out after.
Yeah, for sure. I can't necessarily say I've been following a lot of Rev Pro and maybe some of the characters and new faces that they have featured, but I think they always deliver. So I could be down for that. Where were we? We're talking about the tag division.
It's like, okay, it finishes by 8 p.m. So that's fantastic. Oh, wait, I'm looking at the wrong thing.
Finishes at 8 a.m. That's when it finishes.
Wait a sec.
Just joking. Well, I think Cope and Cage retain, and we do hopefully get some crazy multi-tag TLC at All In. We're just going to keep hoping that match happens. And I think it will. Whether or not it involves Machine Guns, Young Bucks, New Day, it's happening.
I don't want to offend, but I love the Machine Guns. I don't care for them in that match.
I would agree that maybe not.
I think they are, especially at this point in their career, a step below those other teams you mentioned.
Yeah, sure.
And they're great and, done so much for tag team wrestling. But I think maybe the more you add, it does become lesser. And I would keep the New Day as that like special act.
Sure. Absolutely. So we're agreeing Cope and Cage retain on that one. What about this match that also talking about tag teams? A 3-way tag team match added to this show. The Young Bucks versus El Sky Team. Mystico and Mascara Dorada versus Unbound Co., which is Shingo and Titan. So cool. I asked for a Shingo match and I got one, I guess, with Mystico. This sounds pretty crazy. This should be awesome.
We saw Shingo oh no, that was Goto. Yeah, okay. That's yeah, that sounds good. That you see, I like that for Forbidden Door. Like, just I think on the undercard, sometimes having some of these sort of tag matches, throwing a lot of people in. I like that. I think it's the Bucks are just doing their thing right now, where they're racking up wins. Right, they're racking up their wins to hopefully go for the title again. So don't mind that at all.
Yeah,
and I see the Bucks.
Yeah, me too. Jon Moxley versus Bandito for the Continental Championship. So I'm assuming we have the 20-minute time limit on this one, because that's the rules of this belt. I see Jon Moxley retaining, but are you saying Brody attacks him and costs him a match? Is it too soon for that?
Maybe Brody costs Bandito the match by just being out there at ringside, because remember, everyone's banned from ringside, and I don't know.
Everyone's banned. True.
Moxley's winning this one. I think it's an interesting like styles clash, these two going at it, and I'm sure will be great. I think Bandito matches quite often are just throw up the graphic and it's cool, that should be good. That's how this match feels to me, and I think a perfectly fine job of building it, to be honest. Just the tag win over them, and this is a bit of a Continental Championship is a bit of a sort of call your shot and go for it, and the way Mox is doing it. So I'm cool with this one.
This could be really good. Yeah, Bandito's his hit rate is definitely really high. His pay-per-view matches are incredible every time he wrestles, and Moxley too. Like I'm not loving the whole Death Rider stuff. I hope it leads to this big story arc, maybe with going back to an Ospreay match. I don't know if that's redemption or something, but it's the other members of the Death Riders that I'm kind of getting a little over. Like, I don't know if I need to see Daniel Garcia every week wrestling, because Claudio is kind of in this like safe space where his matches all kind of they're at that level. Pac kind of feels the same way, so I can't say I'm like overly excited when the Death Riders are wrestling. But Moxley though, single him out, and dare I say Marina Shafir, because every time she's stealing the scene as well. But Moxley's just on another level, and the other Death Riders don't do a whole lot for me right now. They kind of bore me.
I feel exactly the same. I'm really liking this Ospreay story with the Death Riders. I think that's really working for me. But I agree about the rest of the group. I think all of them are great wrestlers, but as I said, whenever I hear that dun dun dun, I go, ugh, okay, this is gonna be a boring good match, And that's how I normally feel. And Garcia's great, Yuda's great, Claudio's great, Pac's great, but I find them all dull, and I find their characters dull. Whereas Mox is so interesting, like with his promos and everything. He sounds great, whereas the rest, I just feel their role is to kind of scowl and look mean, and it's a little boring.
Unless you're Daniel Garcia, then you're just getting punked out. Daniel Garcia, the addition to this character might make it work is if he were to walk around backstage holding on to Moxley's pocket. I think it would really go well with this story, because Garcia got bitched out by Ospreay on Dynamite after the Ospreay promo. When he goes backstage, he like throws him against the wall. It was like almost like a Heidenreich Michael Cole moment there. And that's when Moxley is like, hey, they're just words, man, words. And then I don't know if Moxley recently watched the original Ninja Turtles movie, because he's pretty much quoting it here as he's like, You see this right here, and then he's talking all these things. He sounds like Casey Jones giving telling the bad guys like, stop, just focus, don't worry about the words. And it's like, damn, I feel like he was lifting things from that. But Garcia just comes across as this like, oh my god, this character. So I'm not liking the Death Riders, but I'm absolutely loving Moxley, and I guess they're part of the act. They help elevate him to this level. He's got his gang, I guess, right? But yeah,
like I'm gonna say something outrageous here, because obviously, like, why would you like cut the legs from your top baby face? But at some point, I think we've been waiting for the Death Riders to do to Moxley what they did to Bryan eventually.
Right.
You know, we had all of last year after the Hangman lost. It's those little side eyes when Moxley lost a match or whatever. But the problem is we then go, all right, but who's leading this group? Pac? Like, there's no one. As we said, they're all kind of dull. Yeah. Now, what if down the line it's Ospreay, like the student becomes the master, and maybe they have their match after All In with Moxley going for the title, and then when Moxley loses, Ospreay's like cut his head off essentially, and becomes the new leader of the group. And then you've got, the people that didn't trust him, like Pac mainly. It's like he's now following him. I don't think we're ready for a Ospreay heel run right yet, because he's insanely popular. But at some point, like when we're going to pull the trigger on this Death Riders breakup, that potentially is something you could do.
Yeah, you need someone to be the leader of the group to replace him. So far, I don't think any of those guys could be that guy. We have Pac in a match announced against Shota Umino for the IWGP Global Heavyweight Championship. Is that like their IC title? Good question. Sure. Yes,
it is. It's their US title that became the UK title that then I think Finlay smashed up, and then it became the global title.
This should be fine. I love Shooter.
I don't like Shota. I don't like Shota Umino too much. So
you don't like Shooter?
No, not really.
I haven't watched him in a while, so I can't necessarily vouch,
he doesn't seem to know what he is, and he's not really connecting.
Is he going to come out on the bike?
Like, was that with Wrestle Kingdom?
Yeah.
I don't know. They're trying to tie in a bit of Death Rider lore here, aren't they? With him being
true.
Him being like Moxie's young boy and all that.
Right.
Yeah, I can't. I think there's other people on the roster that I'd maybe prefer to see against Pac. Like this one doesn't interest me too much. But
you think Shooter wins because it's for the title? They got to give New Japan something, right?
So, yeah. I think
fortunately, so. Pac, yeah. We have the AEW Women's World Champion Tekla defending against Starlight Kid and the entire roster of Stardom as well in this feud. I said earlier, like, hey, some of the stories I'm not necessarily feeling. One of them is great with Tekla literally spitting on the logo, and then this week taking it up a notch, flying to Japan to yet again attack the president of Stardom and like go all off on the roster and everything, and then either be arrested or escorted out. It was a great bit that I saw on social media, and like they've built the feud with just her talking shit about this other company. Basically, like, you had me, you had a star, you screwed me over, or whatever happened, and then whatever happened, and then now she's here, and it feels like she's become an even bigger star now because of it, because she got a really big reaction over in Japan. But I've been loving this story where she's just basically like, I feel like we've not had a woman storyline that's like against a company of wrestling. Like, okay, I don't watch Stardom a whole lot, but I know of it. We've covered a lot of it in the past where a lot of the wrestlers go on to be big stars in WWE and AEW. But I'm liking this story where she literally spit on the logo and is talking reckless. And I know we've literally met her she lives this gimmick. Like, I just feel like she is wild, crazy, scary, and I'm really into this character. And I think this match could be really good. She said she's gonna spit all over this mask and everything as well. I'm like, damn.
It's the best Forbidden Door story we've got going. You know what? It might be the best Forbidden story we've had. across all.
That is legit. Yeah.
That has like history built in. Okay, maybe aside from Omega Ospreay, but
sure.
Aside from that, like I'm thinking most of them have been just match graphics thrown up, right? And you go, oh, that should be good. This has it right from when Tekla debuted in AEW. It's been, this is the woman who got kicked out of Japan for beating up the president and being so disrespectful. So it's a story they've told for a long time, even if we haven't had the Stardom characters involved. And I think it's a great thing to keep Tekla busy with until we're ready for those big matches coming up at Redemption and All In. So Tekla's got to retain this one, but I'm looking forward to seeing Starlight Kid because I've heard a lot of good things about her, and I can't say I've really seen much of her stuff. So I'm really looking forward to this one. Actually, this is one of the ones I'm most interested in on this card.
I would agree. Like, I think obviously Tekla retains here. We got to do the big match of Mercedes Tekla at Wembley, I would imagine. But I think this match could definitely get a lot of people's attention, being like, whoa, that was pretty cool. So really looking forward to this match. And I have liked this story. It makes sense where she's like, yo, fuck you, Stardom. And she's like now rubbing their nose in it and trying to be this just over the top heel of, if you haven't seen her, I'm sure they're going to show it this week on Dynamite and in the video package where she's just tormenting this guy in Japan. She basically pops up like a horror movie, and he's basically like, oh no, she's back. It's really good, and that wasn't even on AEW TV. So yeah, they'll definitely show it. But looking forward to that one. Tekla, Starlight Kid. We have another match: Kenny Omega, Zack Sabre Jr. The winner apparently gets a title shot, sort of. Apparently, I think Kenny's rule is if I win, I get a title shot because he's an EVP. I guess he can book this sort of stuff. So this is the match, man. This is gonna absolutely bang for sure. So
really looking forward to this one. Just stylistically, this should be really good. I don't love that. I wish they could come up with something a little more creative and maybe have like a Tony Khan or a Tanahashi or whatever be like, make it a number one contenders match. You know, like you could have storyline wise, Zack is free redemption weekend, and this make it a bit more than just a throwaway. Like Kenny's basically saying, hey, I've won a bunch of matches recently. I beat
Tony Nese.
I beat Tony Nese and Bad Dude Tito. So really, if I beat you, Zack, I should go for my championship. Like, if I was Zack, I'd be like, I don't fucking care, mate. Like, you do whatever you want to do after this, but I'm facing you tonight. So you could have had Zack be like, you know, I've held the New Japan title. You guys have taken the IWGP Championship back to AEW before. I want to do the same thing. And then you have, well, you got to beat our best. It's like, well, I'll face Kenny, and then I'll face Max or whoever.
Okay. Yeah, okay.
And then,
like, if you just had Zack Sabre Jr. come out a few weeks ago and interrupt MJF and go, hey, Forbidden Door's coming up. I want to face you. And MJF's like, no, I just won this back. I got a bum knee. I can't do this. And then Kenny comes out. There you go. Max, I can't fight either of you right now. Kenny, I've already beaten you. Yeah, well, I want another shot. I want redemption. Oh, the name of the show. Zack goes, well, Max, I've never faced you before. I want a shot at this. I want to steal your title. Fuck you, dickhead, or whatever. And teasing that match that we could eventually go to one day. Fucking All In, you could do that match. Like this, I don't know.
This isn't a story that's been handcuffed by, the opponent not being able to speak English or being stuck in Japan. Zack's been here for 2 weeks and we've had a video package. You could have done something like the match. Yeah, sure. Throw the graphic up. That's great. I'm excited. Kenny versus Zack. But if you're adding this sort of Kenny stip where he's going for the title, make it work. Make it work in story.
Yeah. It could have easily been Zack wants the title. Like, what has been the easiest thing that has actually worked in the last 6 months in AEW? Everyone wants the gold. What gold? Yeah. The biggest title there is. Okay, cool. So make it known that. And if Zack just went, yeah, I want this. Okay, well, Tony Khan's going to make this match. Kenny and Zack, and the winner gets redemption. People may be like, well, why does Zack just randomly get a title shot? Because it's fucking wrestling. I don't know.
Like he can be like, I've beaten Bryan Danielson, I've beaten Nigel McGuinness, I've beaten a bunch of your talent, right? Like,
yeah,
I should be champ.
Look, this is going to be an awesome match. Don't get me wrong. And ultimately, I want to see Kenny versus MJF in Montreal again. We were there in Vancouver for Dynasty. It was great. I think they could even go the next extra mile if we get that rematch. But I'm looking forward to Kenny and Zach, and I do think Kenny wins. And I think he does go face Max at Redemption. What about the... Oh, and also Zack Sabre Jr. and Jungle Boy is this upcoming Dynamite is a match. So
yes,
that
and
could be fun.
Jungle Boy is going to win and pay for his beer, right?
Nice, yes, nice. We have the
Jack
Owen
Perry's terrible promo. Sorry, but like
I don't necessarily love it.
Like,
I don't necessarily love his promos. Bless him.
He's got to work on that. But yeah,
I think he is. I mean, look, he used to never do weekly promos like this, so he's at least trying things, but definitely isn't working. I don't think. I love his wrestling's
I
fine.
find both him and as a babyface and a heel, it's a very like lackadaisical delivery, and I think he just like I'd love to hear him just do a amped up promo.
He's been trying that. He's been doing the like woo and all that stuff. It's like it's a little jarring.
Matches, but like this, he's like, "Hey Zach, thank you for helping me when I was in Japan. You bought me my first beer. I want to buy you a beer. You know what they say? The winner pays for the drink." And that was the promo, and it was come on. Yeah.
He has tried other things, and I see that they're finally trying it. But yeah, there needs to be something, and using a knife in a van and
squirrel
dinosaurs. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, not sure. We got Jungle Boy with the squirrels, and we got Shiloh Hill with the raccoons over on NXT. Mm-hmm. It's madness.
Yeah.
So that match is on Wednesday. That could be pretty fun though with Zach and Jungle Boy. We have the Owen Hart tournament. We mentioned Swerve Strickland. We'll get back to him in a second. But over on the women's side, on Dynamite, we had a really awesome match between Mercedes Moné and Hazuki. First of all, Hazuki's theme song, banger. Mercedes seems to maybe have remixed her theme song since coming back as well. It's got like this bell sound in it or something. I keep thinking my phone was ringing or something.
I kind of maybe got the sense that they're trying to get away from it sounding as like, well, it is the Dvorak piece, right? Sample, and since Gunther brought it back as his theme, maybe they don't want it to sound quite like it's still there, but it felt more like, the beat was all over the place. It sounded horrible. I thought it really did work for me.
I never understood why she went with that sample, knowing that another wrestler,
such a prominent piece. It's weird.
It is, and as someone who literally I love sampling and making beats. In fact, if you listen to the PW cast, I made that with the sample with that beat like almost 10 years ago or something, and it's like that sample is used so often where she could have just used any other thing, but I guess she really
find another piece of classical music. There's loads,
so much out there. So many samples. The world is your oyster. But the match, though, Mercedes coming back, we're wondering, is she a babyface? Is she a heel? She's still wrestling like the old Mercedes. I loved this match with Hazuki. Hazuki is Liddy. She was all over the place with these crazy moves.
Oh, the crowd loved her.
Yeah, I really got into this match. This was my match of the show, I think, on Wednesday on Dynamite. But Mercedes ultimately tapping her out, advancing in the Owen Hart tournament. And then kind of jumping here before we get to the match up, Athena versus Maya World on AEW Collision. In a huge upset, Athena loses to her protege, to her student, and Maya World advances to Forbidden Door to face Mercedes Moné in the finals of the Owen Hart tournament, women's side. And that was a crazy upset and another amazing matchup between Athena and Maya World on Collision. This story has so many layers to it. The stuff she's been talking about with her brother recently passing away, to think back to how she even got here in the first place. And I mean, got here as in AEW. Mm-hmm. Someone said yes to doing a 3-minute match. And here she is, going on to a PLE. Like, absolutely bonkers. Good for her because she looks great. She's only been wrestling for 3 years. She had a really great match with Athena, and I can't wait to see what she does with Mercedes.
I'm so pleased they pulled the trigger with this because I thought this is the pivot you should do because you have a story. You've got a great story here to tell. And, you know, having the upset over Sky Blue, that's one thing. But upsetting Athena opens up so many other doors. You can go to Athena Mercedes whenever you want. Athena's not winning this tournament, and no one was going to see her as winning this tournament. Whereas now, like, you've got Mercedes, who is, I think we all expected would come back as a big baby face. She's not. She's come back as a heel. You know, you had that post-match attack with Athena and Mercedes.
Yeah, she turns heel.
Sort of the fake celebration, hugging her, and then Athena hitting her from behind and Mercedes just laughing. It's now put a seed of doubt that it is Mercedes and Tekla. Maybe Mercedes has something else at All In, which isn't for this title. And, you know, the underdog story you continue to tell with Maya World, now going up against Tekla, the big heel, that has opened itself up as a possibility for London. And what a huge, you know, story it is. As you said, like, only been wrestling 3 years, like having this awful real life tragedy and then coming out of that to being on the biggest stage for the biggest women's prize in AEW. That's a great story. And now you've got that match, Mercedes versus Maya World, where there is a seed of doubt. Whereas I think if it was Mercedes versus Athena, we go, this should be a good match. Mercedes is winning. Now there's a little bit of me in my head going, oh, they might do something else here, which will make that match way more exciting.
I think it'll be an awesome match. I still think Mercedes is going to win, but you're right. What a crazy story you could tell. And that they've already told, but that adds to the nastiness of Mercedes. But then also, if it's Mercedes versus Tekla, they're both heels.
That's what I mean. Like, so now you go, that's weird. Because I think if you were going Mercedes and Tekla, you would shift Mercedes as a babyface.
Like, I only know Maya World from, I'm pretty sure I've only seen her on AEW TV since, like, again, since filling in for the two wrestlers that didn't want to wrestle 3 minutes.
Maga and Weak Knees.
Right, yeah. Do you think they're going to watch this Sunday and be like, oh, that could have been us in this
maybe
tournament final? This girl only been wrestling for 3 years, and I tell you, this match with Athena was pretty impressive. So
yeah, I liked it a lot.
I will be rooting for her in this match. It would be such an incredible story, like this rookie just getting these last minute opportunities and taking with it. And you know, they say there's no storytelling in AEW. I think they've done a really good story with this almost by accident of this character. And yeah, since coming in as a jobber in that 3-minute match, and now here she is. So good for them, because that's a pretty cool story, and good for her because she looks pretty good out there. So I'm looking forward to this match. If it's anything like that match, the two matches we saw with this week on AEW TV, the women's division, we're stepping it up, I thought, with those two main matches. So we've changing our opinion. We're going with Maya World winning this whole thing, just to be positive.
Why not?
Yeah, exactly. What's Ronda Rousey saying? She could come and fight Mercedes, right?
Yeah, or Mercedes. Yeah, I mean, I feel a big Mercedes match, kind of, if it's not against Tekla, has to be someone off roster. Yeah. Because I don't necessarily see whoever's winning this TBS title being a Mercedes match, but I don't know. I'm trying to think of some of the releases. Is there anyone you could have come in who's... I can't think of anyone particularly exciting on the release block, but or maybe it's Ronda. Who knows?
Yeah, we'll see. What else we have on this? We have the Divine Dominion, Megan Bayne, Lena Cross. Is it Lena Cross?
Lena, I believe.
Lena Cross versus Thunder Rosa and Olympia. This was it's going to be on the pre-show dark match, but I see the Divine Dominion retaining here. Obviously,
This has been their spot, hasn't it? The pre-show, the kickoff for the PLEs. Divine Dominion's winning this.
Like when you were a kid and you would play like the video games wrestling, and of course your mom comes into the room always when it's like a Trish Stratus loading screen.
Yeah.
How come every time I'm watching Dynamite, my girlfriend walks in when it's the Divine Dominion? Like, I swear there's wrestling on this show. I watch it for the plot, okay? I watch it for the plot, I swear. Yeah, she's a big, scary Australian lady. I swear, it's the plot. Please. We also have the Team Briscoe cage match versus Team MJF. If Briscoe's team wins, he gets a title shot against MJF. We got Briscoe, Orange Cassidy, Roderick Strong, Kyle O'Reilly, Konosuke Takeshita, and Darby Allin versus MJF and the Don Callis family, the Jet, Kevin Knight, Kyle Fletcher, Jake Doyle, Okada, and Andrade in there. A lot of guys.
This is going to be fantastic, but there are so many of these faction warfare matches in AEW.
The staple of AEW.
We just had another Stadium Stampede at Double or Nothing. We normally have a Blood and Guts around this time of year.
Oh no, you need to cut that out. Don't do that.
Before potential for a Stadium Stampede at Wembley as well. Like there's just too much of this. And yeah, I understand why. I think it's maybe to protect MJF while he's healing his leg injury up a little bit. It's a way to keep some of your storylines going into our next few pay-per-views. Like you're able to keep the Fletcher Okada Takeshita story going without burning through a singles match. You've still got the like Andrade and Kevin Knight stuff being on the same team as MJF, where they're kind of feuding with him a little bit. Fletcher is also showing that he doesn't really like MJF too much. I wonder if like a Roderick Strong or someone gets taken out before this and Speedball steps in, so you continue the Speedball Kevin Knight story. Like they kind of did a thing with MJF attacking Roddy's arm, like not letting go of the Salt of the Earth. So I wonder if, like they took out Ishii this week, whether Roddy's going to be taken out, because it kind of makes more sense with Speedball being in this match.
I agree.
So I get the idea of it, but we just have a lot of these matches.
It is a bit of a staple. Like they do them quite often. And again, I think it's just, we just did it at the last pay-per-view with a bunch of people feuding with a bunch of people in these big multi-matches. They're always entertaining. And this one, potentially could be insane with some of these people in it. I liked the tag match on Dynamite because you got little glimpses of the feuds. You have Kevin Knight as a heel now, scared of Darby. He knows what he did was bad and he's trying to avoid him, but Darby wants to get revenge. We need to go to that match. At Redemption, it should be Kevin Knight versus Darby, but I think we're saving that for potentially All In for Kevin Knight and Darby Allin, where I think in Montreal, it's Kevin Knight versus Speedball. And you're right, Speedball should get revenge for that attack, whatever it was last week or the week before, where he finally gets his revenge or redemption on Kevin Knight. So there's a few things in the few stories going on there. And then you finally had Takeshita interacting with Kyle Fletcher, which I've been just waiting for. Like my favorite story has been the Takeshita Okada and then the breakup with Fletcher. So finally Takeshita's trying to get his revenge here. And in the short minutes that they had some sequences together in this tag match, it was just wetting my whistle of like, oh man, can we get to this match? So selfishly, if we're going to Redemption in Montreal and they announce Kyle Fletcher versus Takeshita, I might cry at the end of this. Like that is the match. I think that is my ultimate one that we haven't seen in AEW. That is like, that's the one I need to watch. Think of all these crazy, I'm talking straight ball, like straight wrestling match of the year quality matchup. Fletcher in his stage right now versus Takeshita in his stage. One-on-one could be absolutely crazy. And then we go to All In and we get the match that you've been waiting for. You add Okada into that and the triple threat at All In. Like, take my money. Please, Tony Khan. Please do the right thing.
Absolutely. That's what I do.
Please.
I think
please.
Takeshita and Fletcher are very much at the same level. I think they're two guys that I think we all see could be a world champion here.
Yep.
And they're those characters that have flirted in the main event scene, but not fully prominent But wherever you put them on the card, they're going to have one of the matches of the night and an absolute show stealer. Both are capable of that. I think that match at Redemption is fantastic. You can have maybe Okada involvement that leads us to All In with the three of them.
No, absolutely. Like, I hope that's the story. So just finally seeing like some interaction and continuation of that story, I'm like, good. As soon as we get past the Forbidden Door, Takeshita, even though he's the champion, should be like, no. Hold on, Fletcher. We got some business to attend to. We got to fight. And that's unless they're trying to prolong that to All In as well. Like all these stories
Okada does something else.
Like, yeah. I wonder if that's the case, because what was the Ricochet thing about? Is it Ricochet versus Takeshita in Montreal? And we're waiting
until... We've got that on Dynamite this week.
Oh, we do? Okay, so
that's announced for Wednesday.
Okay, cool. Okay, so maybe we do get it in Montreal.
Was my worst match of the year 2 years ago, Takeshita versus...
Let's see if they do it worse.
Yeah, come on, see if you can do even more headlocks in the next match.
Right. I hope we go with that direction, and I hope the MJF, Mark Briscoe match is like a TV special.
I think so.
I can't imagine that being the main event of Redemption.
No, we've got what have they announced? You've got Jericho and you've got Jericho and Ciampa at Beach Break. That's going to be. Is that this coming week or is that like after?
Might be after.
I think it's after Forbidden Door. So that is a show that you could. I'm just trying to find the date of this. Beach Break,
in Clearwater, July 8th.
Okay, yeah, that's when you do the match. That's when you do Briscoe MJF.
It's on a beach, apparently.
Oh,
apparently it's another one of these weird venues. Yeah,
it's not just in Cleveland.
When they announced this, I was kind of like, oh man, like we've been covering NXT and we've never gone down to Florida. But as soon as they showed the specs for this venue and what it's supposed to look like, I was like, damn, that looks like one of those fun gimmicky shows, like the golf course one, or they've done like the one on the boat, right? But this one could be like all around surrounding beaches and pools and stuff. So Clearwater,
the Baycare Sound. Okay, I don't know,
man. It looks cool. It looks like it's on a beach. So finally, they
got that right. It's okay. It's kind of it's kind of like our amphitheater here by looking at it. So
cool.
I'll get it.
Okay, so that's the show where you put MJF versus Mark Briscoe. And then we're setting up for Redemption, I would imagine. But yeah, that venue looks pretty cool. Yeah, someone's going into the beach. What beach is that? Is that the Atlantic? That's still the Atlantic, right? Because what was the CM Punk Chavo match that I love so much, where they had to put them the Gulf of Mexico match?
Right.
We need the Atlantic match where you have to throw them into the water.
Oh, it is the Gulf of Mexico.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
The Gulf of America? No, sorry. Yeah. Never mind. Yeah, never mind. So Beach Break, Jericho and Ciampa. Ciampa basically killed Chris Jericho on Collision. So that is, at least that's not the pay-per-view match. That's like down the line we're going to go to. So cool for that. But then, so obviously we see Mark Briscoe's team winning this. The baby faces getting Mark Briscoe the title shot at Beach Break, obviously, right?
I think so. Yeah. That makes sense.
Then we go to what I imagine is the actual main event for Forbidden Door, which is a rematch of a main event of Forbidden Door a few years ago. Swerve Strickland taking on Will Ospreay, the finals of the Owen Hart men's tournament. Winner goes on to Wembley Stadium to face the AEW World Champion. Finally, Will Ospreay does or says what we've been waiting for him to say. Why is it so important that a little British kid wrestles at Wembley Stadium? He explained it right here in this promo. First, though, he had to make sure we knew that he bangs his wife.
Yeah.
He had to make sure, hey, I'm going on to Wembley and shit's serious, but
didn't just bang her, but made a bit of a mess as well by the sound.
We just got married and I fucked the shit out of her. And
what was come on this Dynamite this week? I know it's the World Cup and it's come that is, Canada, United States, and Mexico. That's been doing it, but Christian talking about Yeah, have you not seen the like shirts and the posters? Oh, it's funny. Yeah,
because
so
it's CUM, right?
It says
right.
CUM because it's Canada, United States, and Mexico, and they didn't really think it through, so just come.
Come Tuesday.
But yeah, Christian talking about cum dribbling down legs, and
was he? I thought he was talking about just. Oh yeah, he was, wasn't he?
Yeah. And then Ospreay, clean yourself up, love. I'm going to Houston.
it reminded me of Rush Hour. Clean yourself up. You did.
Yeah.
Clean yourself up, lass. I'm going to Houston. Yeah. I saw some negativity around this on social media this week about Ospreay and how maybe he could have said it a little politer, I guess. But I've also seen segments of Alex Windsor saying some pretty crass things. So you know what? I think she's okay with it.
Yeah, it's his way of showing affection. You know.
Yeah, both of them.
I feel both. Yeah, it's fine. I didn't have a problem with it.
I was genuinely shocked, and I gasped.
Saying this sort of thing about a character who isn't your wife. Maybe that would be like, oh, that's weird, and maybe not getting approval for it, but. I had no issue with this. I found it kind of funny.
It was very funny when he said, clean yourself up, love. I got to go to Houston. But at the same time, okay, yeah, maybe some people were offended because he's being a little crass or TMI, But at the same time, he was saying, I literally just got married and my wife says, the honeymoon, Hawaii's going to wait. You got to go do your dream. Finish your dream. Finish your story, right? Like, go chase your dream. And I thought that actually was... I know people were negative on how he was saying those crude things about his missus, but he also then says like she is telling me to go live my dream, and I thought I think he's come across as a great promo guy since joining AEW. Like I genuinely love Will Ospreay promo segments, and I thought he was really good here with Swerve going toe to toe. Two great wrestlers and two great promos, just all around dudes with these guys. I loved this segment and got me real excited for this main event next year. Swerve saying the Death Riders are a booty boot camp got a pop out of me. I walk around downtown, I always see these posters up like join booty boot camp all the time, and it got a chant from the crowd.
I walked past a bunch of it in the park.
Yeah.
No, I thought this was great. I think Ospreay kind of trying to get across how important Wembley is. It's something they definitely didn't hit on the very first All In, and I think it's now having a Brit in that position. You can kind of make people understand. Like I know the Fed have got you to believe that Madison Square Garden is the most important venue in the world, and they still push that whenever they play the Garden, how historic and important Madison Square Garden is. Like Wembley is the same, right? And to a lot of people, and I think trying to convey that is important. Like I remember I met Ospreay after an OTT show in Dublin, and he faced Ryan Smile and Pete Dunne, and after the match he cuts a promo, and he said, I'm going to be taking a break from the independents, might not see me around so much. And I can't say anything concrete, but all I'm saying is $9.99. And people were expecting, oh shit, he's joining WWE. And he meant 9.99 yen, which is New Japan World. And I had a photo with him after, and he was saying like, we talked to him about that, and he's like, yeah, I don't have to work my 3 jobs anymore. And I think he said he was doing construction, and he said working in a school. And then in this promo, like bringing that up, I was doing construction by Wembley. This has been my dream. Other people dream about kicking the winning goal at Wembley, and like this is that for me. And I thought he did a great job of conveying how important that is. And then Swerve, I thought he's got a similar job to what he had when he was facing Danielson at Wembley, where for Danielson, it was his last shot. He's putting his career on the line to go for the title. And Swerve was back then like, I respect you and I respect that that's your goal, but that ain't happening because I need this title. And I still am not buying Swerve winning this thing. I don't think you'd shake things up like that going into Wembley. Ospreay winning makes a whole lot of sense, but I thought he did a good job of, making us understand and believe why he wants to go on the headline.
No, I absolutely loved him saying like, hey, growing up, everyone in my class wanted to be a soccer player, and that wasn't me. And now I want to go to Wembley and I want to score. I want to win my World Cup, is the line he said. I thought this was great. You had to have him explain. I think we were just jumping the gun of like, well, we know he's winning this tournament. Can we make it exciting? I think maybe we were talking about how ticket sales and stuff like still aren't at that. Maybe like I think people are hoping for 35,000, which could be difficult at this point with the way tickets are looking. But him saying that these kinds of things and tipping and reminding the British audiences out there, like, yo, this is important for me, and I can't wait to get to this match. I thought both Swerve and Ospreay sounded incredible. It sounds crazy, but imagine the Redemption pay-per-view. Imagine Swerve wins this match by, maybe some help, interference or something. And therefore the Redemption is the rematch or something. Like, could we do that to? I don't think we need to go there. But what would Ospreay be doing at Redemption? Would he be putting that title on the line against Mox?
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, or you just have some sort of tag match or something to just tide him over. Mox, I wouldn't see necessarily a rematch with Swerve. Mox is a possibility,
like Ospreay
winning the Owen, and then they put a bag over his head or something,
Like you could easily go, hey, good job. Why don't you give that to me?
Yeah,
I'm the leader of the group. I helped you get here, or prove it by putting it on the line to me, kind of thing. So it kind of puts some seed of doubt and maybe go to that match. But
what do you think of Swerve v Hangman at All In? Because they brought up Hangman here, right?
Oh man, Swerve. I love Swerve on his promo, especially in this character where he's a heel. He sounds more rugged in the whole "I'm the dangerous man." He sounds more serious and scary, and I like that. Him saying, "We did everything." Like, Will, you got injured for a year because we were helping Hangman, and Will said like, "You didn't help initially, and that's why I got injured in the first place." And Swerve is like, "Oh yeah, we went through all that to help Hangman win the title. Then what happened? Where's he now? He ain't champion, that's for sure. And he ain't even here." And it's like, damn, that was pretty crazy. So I do wonder if we go to a potential Hangman versus Swerve rematch. I know we've seen it quite a few times, but I don't even know what else they could possibly physically do to each other. The gun, I guess, comes into play if we go to that match. But I don't know if that's the direction.
I mean, we've not done it in a stadium,
true.
I think that's something that they've had an incredible series, but there is enough time gone that I think there are worse options for both of them, and it could just be, why not just do it again on this bigger scale?
Swerve and Ospreay are going to kill it. Absolutely going to kill it. This is going to be a match of the year contender for sure. Been loving this little story of we know it's Ospreay winning this thing, but like I love the fact that he's finally bringing it up with Wembley. I love that Swerve is like, once again, I'm going to be the party pooper and ruin what you think is going to happen. But I think the last time, the Forbidden Door between them, the match was amazing. So I think they could be even a step up from that. So there is, like, I was complaining earlier, like there is some missteps with where we're going with Forbidden Door. But at the end of the day, I know the wrestling is going to deliver and the pay-per-view will over-deliver as per usual. But I'm very excited, looking forward to what happens after this pay-per-view. Like, I can't wait to get to what we're getting at Redemption, and what it would really help if you just knew matches for Wembley. People would definitely like it might affect people.
You can't do that though in wrestling. Like it's like you'd have no story to tell. Like if we announce,
well, The Rock and John Cena announced a year out, so
yeah, but the rest of the card, I don't know. I think you kill stuff. I think you can heavily hint, like, and I think we know it's Ospreay v MJF or Ospreay and Kenny. And I think if you're following the product, you will know that. And if you're not following it, you won't know who those people are. So I don't really buy that. I think people have smartened up. I think it's not, people in the UK have gone twice now to All In. It's a 90,000 seat stadium. The first time round, people were like worried about it selling out and them not getting a ticket, right? So that's when you have that rush. Last time it was 45,000 people, which was fantastic, but still a lot of tickets left that if you wanted a ticket an hour before the show, you could buy one. And I think more and more people have caught on to that. Now, unless you're announcing The Rock versus Kenny Omega, absolutely. But I don't think any match you've got on your roster announcing 2-3 months out is really going to change things. Personally.
Okay, but let's just say we're jumping ahead to Redemption, and Kenny Omega wins. Main event, beats MJF, celebrating with the title, and Ospreay comes out, and we go, that's the match. I see tickets being sold after that match is announced. I'm not saying insane amount, but they're going to move some tickets by announcing that match. I would say that is a match that would attract some people to go, fuck it. You know, how much or how far is a flight from some of these other European countries to London, really? If there's fans that are hardcore, that's one of the biggest ones you could do. So I do think it would move some tickets.
Announcing that a month ago, how are you doing? 3 months of TV? Like
I'm not saying it's No, I totally agree. I was just asking, like, hey, what other ways could you kind of know? Like, again, if you follow, you've seen they've been posting a lot of stories, the videos with them in the back of the docs room, the pictures that have been posted online. You're like, okay, it kind of feels like they're teasing towards this match, and I think that match would get some people to buy a ticket. So, like,
I feel, and I've said this before, and I kind of hinted at it with when I asked Tony Khan the question at the Vancouver presser.
Yeah,
it's like Ospreay, from the moment this tournament was announced, should be on the British media circuit. He should be talking about this tournament, how much it means to him, how much Wembley means to him, doing a hard sell for Wembley, and also maybe getting people intrigued in this tournament. And you're doing it that way. You're kind of giving a wink, wink, nudge, nudge. I'm in the main event of Wembley, but I've got to go through these matches first. And it might build up more curiosity. And I do think he's a personality that I think people would like. People that don't necessarily know wrestling would see him in an interview setting on morning TV or a late night chat show or one of those, you know, panel comedy shows or whatever. I think he'd do pretty well. And I think people would warm to him. Now, I don't know if that's something that Tony Khan's been pushing and just ITV or whoever aren't interested, but I think that is a way you sell it. And, you know, you can have him being, I'm either facing MJF or I'm facing Kenny Omega, two people who I have big history with, and try and like educate some non-people, like non-fans, being, you know, this is on a long weekend in the summer. Like, I don't know if they're doing the family package that they did the first time round, but, you know, hitting over, like, this is an affordable day out for the family.
Yeah. Well, is it? And some people said it's still not like necessarily cheap, but you know,
I know the first year they did like a family ticket for £100, so it was like 2 adults, 2 kids, or an adult and 3 kids, something like that. I don't know if they're still doing that. I think that's a real smart move to do that. I'm just trying to have a little look on Ticketmaster right now to see what the deals are, but I think your actual diehards aren't rushing to buy tickets, you know. So
exactly, they wait. Yeah,
they wait because they're smart and they know this isn't going to sell out. Whereas I think it's your other people you could maybe attract, being, you know, you watch that Good Morning Britain sit down chat with Will Ospreay and you see some clips and things and be like, oh, you know what, maybe that's something different to take the kids to that weekend. Maybe we'll go, oh, it is kind of affordable and you live in London or whatever. Like, it's, I think they're the kind of other tickets you're going to shift. Now, I don't know nearer the time if we're going to see, you know, the Groupon offers and things like that potentially, because that can always help. They've done in the past. I know my brother works for the NHS, and the last time All In London 2, they were giving like free tickets to NHS workers and things like that.
They do that here as well, like with wrestling concerts and sports. And stuff.
So a child's seat is £22.
Nice.
Which is good. Yeah. I'm trying to see not the children's seats, but yeah. But it looks like right now it's scaled like a lot of like over half of this stadium is completely off sale at the moment. Which
like I looked at
they'll shoot it well, I'm sure, but like it's being there, it's gonna look weird when you're looking at the stage and you just see all these tarped off seats.
Yeah. I looked at WrestleTix about a week ago. It crossed 25,000. So I'm imagining it's sitting around like 26,000 or something like that. I couldn't find the latest from WrestleTix. But also on the subject, Redemption not necessarily doing as well as Dynasty did out the gate. When Vancouver was announced for Dynasty, the tickets sold really well. I think there was around 9,000 people there for that show. It seemed really loud. There's only around like 5,000 tickets shifted for Redemption thus far. And for Forbidden Door, it's only around like 6,000 to 7,000, which was, I think, is down from last year's Forbidden Door. But also, like, maybe it's because they're in San Jose. I mean, I'm not sure.
They did that Dynamite that didn't do well at the Bell Center. And granted, like, it was at a time where AEW wasn't as hot and it was a Dynamite. It's not a pay-per-view. But that is surprising because Canada normally does show up to these events. I'm sure
if it was Toronto, we'd
time
fill it. We'd fill it if it was Toronto. Like the crowd, it would be around like 10,000, I'd say, or more for Toronto. Like they had 13,000 around the last two times they did a pay-per-view here. So like, interesting. Maybe there's just some cities that aren't really interested in going to some of these shows, but hopefully the tickets go up for some of these events, especially Wembley. You would imagine you want to hit 35,000. Is that realistic? I think so.
I think so. They need to do a heavy push, but I'm looking. They've got a bunch of different deals going on right now. So push that on your telly. Like
absolutely.
If you've got family price tickets and kids tickets and 4 for 3 or whatever it is, like you should be pushing that on TV.
Well,
or doing like WWE did leading up to WrestleMania, 1-day sales, that kind of thing.
Sure.
To get those advanced, like otherwise people are just gonna wait, and which can be nerve-wracking for a promotion, right?
Sure. I do imagine it gets to 35, but still, that's at this point right now with 2 months out, it does seem a little. That seems generous to be like 35, but I'd love to see it past that to go like more towards 40. But I don't know if it necessarily will. However, this could be potentially the best version of All In that we've seen from them. Like they've been on this big run this year since last year's, which was great. So I don't know. I feel like this year's, it'd be nice to see the crowd show up, but they do got to push for it a whole lot more, and hopefully they do that. But and the same for Redemption. Hey, that's not necessarily looking too great. That is a big arena with the Bell Center, so they need to fill that. That's AEW. That's Forbidden Door, which is next weekend. We won't be doing a show Sunday because we're going to be watching all the wrestling. So at some point on Monday, possibly during the day, to be determined, we are going to be doing a not only Forbidden Door review show, but we will be also talking about NXT Great American Bash. So look to that next week as we talk all about that. So stay tuned for updates of when we go and do that show at some point.
Absolutely.
With the FIFA and World Cup and shoot jobs and everything, there's a lot going on, but we will be doing a review for post wrestling of the Great American Bash, but we'll also talk about Forbidden Door. We are choosing to watch Forbidden Door next week. Just we have some boys coming over, and we're gonna be hanging out at the BDE, the BDG, with the boys watching some Forbidden Door. So we will do a show Monday, but PoisonranaPod.ca, give us a following on whatever it is that you use to stay tuned for what we do. Now we can talk about some WWE, some Fed. Big weekend. I forgot that there's pay-per-view like the Saturday, then a pay-per-view the Sunday, and yeah, crazy.
Yeah, we've got the build to Night of Champions. We know our finalists of King and Queen of the Ring. We know our undisputed WWE Championship main event, and we know that they've broken the formula so far. 6 matches announced on this show, which is insane. It's crazy. You might even get like 3 matches on the streaming app rather than just on free TV. Is this going to go 4 hours? Are we going to have less commercials? Like this is crazy stuff.
4 hours, no. I mean, okay, what's the over or under of actual wrestling? Even if there is 6 matches, there's still going to be a lot of ads. But the best way to watch WWE PLEs is on delay or the next day. Like, just it changes the way I view these things. Like watching live with all these, what are they called now? What do the kids call them again? Hydration breaks when you go to commercial.
It's only North America would be able to take football and break it into 4 quarters. Like Jesus. I think they should be optional. These, like, some games, yes, when you're playing in crazy heat. When you're playing in these air-conditioned stadiums, like, come on.
Yeah.
Why are we got to watch a Burger King commercial right now?
Because they got to get paid.
And it's becoming strategic as well. Like, you're seeing it change the momentum of a game and stuff. It's bizarre. But yes.
But so 6 matches on this PLE. And where do you want to start with this? What do we want to look at?
Let's start with the triple threat match, I guess, that was set up on SmackDown with Cody, Sammy, and Gunther. Sammy being the referee, kind of trying his best to call it straight down the middle, breaking up the 5 counts, all of that sort of stuff, and getting in a bit of argy-bargy with old Gunther, leading to a power bomb to Sammy, which caused Sammy to flip out and do a fast count. Cody then making sure the match is restarted and Sammy interfering, haluva kicking Gunther, and thus leading to a triple threat.
Yes. So is this at Night of Champions, right? Officially,
yeah,
the triple threat match.
Confirmed.
Yeah, we've seen them building. We just assumed that this was the direction that they were going. It makes a whole lot of sense with the story that they've been doing. I like that there was some good stuff in this match actually with Gunther and Cody, but I think we all knew where it was going to go with this story and direction. So I'm happy that it kind of did, even though we kind of saw it coming, because I think the triple threat is a way more interesting dynamic than just seeing the rematch again of Gunther and Cody. It's going to the boy who cried wolf, boy who wants to be WWE champion. Well, again, but like, I don't necessarily see him winning it in a triple threat, but would that be a heel Sami Zayn way of actually winning? Like, would this be the moment he gets crowned champion? I still don't necessarily buy it. So I think this is a Cody retain at this show, but this should be a good match with the 3 of them.
Yeah, I think it can continue Sammy's like descent, and I think a loss here in this character serves him way better than a loss as the babyface once again challenging. You could do Sammy haluva kicking Gunther and Cody tossing him out the ring and capitalizing, like kind of Cody having a bit more of the heel win of a triple threat, which can send Sammy spiraling even more because he's like, I had him beat. I had this match won. They're doing a good job of teasing different possibilities. Sammy having the interaction with Jey Uso, Gunther having a history with Jey Uso as well. So I think they're doing a nice job between this match and what's going on with King of the Ring to have a lot of different options in the air. But I really enjoyed. I've been enjoying the last few weeks the segments between these 3. I think all 3 are fantastic talkers on the mic, and I think Sammy's found a great balance of being a bit of a heel, but not an outright heel. Like, you understand his frustrations. He does feel like, when a relationship's getting rocky and you're really trying to make a relationship work, and you're like, no, we're gonna go for dinner and it's gonna be lovely, and you end up you're saying the wrong thing and arguing again, and you're just like, fuck, like why does this keep happening? And that's sort of Sammy here. Like he's trying to still be Cody's friend while still making it clear I want that title, but still like seems to keep fucking everyone over, and him getting frustrated in the process. Like I think all three are making this work pretty well, and I quite liked I enjoyed the schmoz, I'll say, with this title match.
Yeah. I liked the fact that you teased Jey Uso winning King of the Ring and then potentially facing Sami Zayn at SummerSlam in the main event, which I'm like, oh man, we're going all the way back to that. Okay. So at least they're planting some seeds of like, hey, there's a few directions you could go into, but ultimately I do think Sami, Gunther, Cody could be a really fun match. I still just think it's Cody retaining, ultimately going, maybe it is Jey Uso or Obafemi. I don't know if there's a swerve there or something, but that's still where I still think Cody's going to retain at the end of it, even though I'm back on, like, I still want Sami to win once before he's finished wrestling. Like, just give it to him once. I just don't think it's at this time. So,
yeah, I like, is Gunther an option here?
Sure. Sami, he pinned Sami.
Yeah, like
right?
that's something else you can do. Like it
but
depends.
Then who's he facing at SummerSlam? Or is he not
Gunther?
facing King of the Ring? Because they could go after Roman, right?
You could do Gunther Ober, I guess. Like,
wow, okay, that's huge.
Maybe. I don't know. Like, I am enjoying that it's not clear right now. I think that's a good thing, and I think there's still a lot of work to do on certain things, but I think the King of the Ring tournament has actually been a good thing for WWE right now. I think it has boosted. It's boosted my interest a little bit. I'm not sold completely. They haven't completely won me back, but I think at the top of the card they've been doing some good work.
So we have that triple threat. What else is on Night of Champions? We got Jey Uso, Obafemi, King of the Ring final. Who is going to win the King of the Ring, and who gets the championship shot at SummerSlam?
I would still go with Oba, I think. I'm still like a proponent of doing the like double duty thing with Roman and Brock, and Oba just crushing them both and establishing himself as the guy. That's the way I'd go, but if Jey does win this thing, it's got to be with Brock involvement, right?
Yeah.
Like, Jey cannot be Obafemi losing clean to Jey Uso would be incredibly damaging. So it's either Oba just steamrolls him or Brock gets involved.
Exactly. That's the only two options. Whereas Brock costs him this King of the Ring, which sets up the big match for SummerSlam. And then, okay, Jey Uso and Roman Reigns. Jey Uso, Cody. Don't really care about either of those matches.
I think Jey Cody is if Jey does win this. We've seen Jey versus Roman at a SummerSlam, and it wasn't very good. I was asleep, so fair.
What do you think Jey Uso has on Triple H? What do you think he's got in a lockbox somewhere? Like,
I think those Yeet shirts still sell really well.
They're still selling?
That's all I can say.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. I kind of see it going either that way. Like, Brock has to cost him, or Oba just fucking wins.
I wasn't really a fan of, like, I'm a fan of Javon Evans, but I wasn't a fan of how much Javon was selling in this match against Jey Uso. He was selling like he was in there against Brock Lesnar. Like, just
Jey Uso, bro.
Gets hit by some weak-looking super kicks and whatever, and a spear, and Javon's like screaming. He's clutching his ribs like they're broken. It's like, it's the Yeet man, Javon. Like, you don't need to sell that hard for this guy.
Yeah, I'll always love the Usos, but I'm definitely like, why does he keep getting put in these giant positions? But hey, maybe you've answered that question. Money talks. If the shirts are selling still, then if it ain't broke, don't, fix it, I guess. But it's kind of broke, isn't it? Just because McDonald's sells the most hamburgers doesn't mean it's the best hamburger.
Yeah.
Although McDoubles are still pretty good, but still not the best. Yeah. What else we got?
So what are you going with? Are you?
I'm gonna say the bigger match is doing Brock and Oba one more time, and I think we need to get there. And if Oba wins this, then how do we get there? So Brock costing him might make more sense. But like you said, the other flip of that coin is just have Oba go on to be champion and beat whoever. Yeah. But I don't know if it's necessarily that time yet.
And then Queen of the Ring tournament final, Io versus Liv Morgan. You had the baddies and Jade attacking Charlotte before her match with Liv. So I guess setting up a SummerSlam match there, Jade versus Charlotte. But the Liv Morgan trying to become double champion, taking on Io. But things are up in the air because what's going on with Rhea's apparent injury as well.
Oh no. Is she hurt?
Yeah, reports of Rhea suffering, I think it's a leg injury. Let me double check this, but her status unclear right now.
Like them going with Liv, I was a little shocked, but I mean, she still is pretty popular as well. I would totally do another Io versus Rhea match. I think that anytime you just add that match to a show, I think people will be tuned in to watch it. We've been talking about for weeks now of like, imagine they go this route and they finally do like a Rhea turn, which would be very interesting. Just the problem is she's just so popular as this big baby face finally that why would you revert her back to being a baddie? But the story of her not being able to beat her friend Io is a big thing that they could play off of. I don't see it being Liv, but we're talking about the Yeet Man possibly main eventing SummerSlam, so I guess you could go with Liv too. We've done that story though with Rhea and Liv, and now you're saying if Liv is
so as of yesterday, Fightful and WrestleVotes reporting that Rhea Ripley's injury is legit. Reports of shuffling around storylines on SmackDown and possibly being extended, sidelined for an extended period. So yeah, that could cause there to be a vacant title at SummerSlam. So you could, if Io wins this thing, you could just do Io and Liv again at SummerSlam. I don't particularly like that. Maybe it can be if we've got this Jade and Charlotte story going on, we could extend that and get the title involved, get Io involved in that, and maybe that's the direction if Rhea is out. But I would go I'd go Io to win this thing regardless of Ripley's status.
Yeah, exactly. Just go with Io regardless of where we go. And if Rhea is actually out, then somehow get the title to Io. Right?
Yeah.
Like, that's probably the thing that makes the most sense. But yeah, I go Io all the way. Over the moon.
Also got we just mentioned Tiffany Stratton versus Jade Cargill for the Women's United States Championship. Your
favorite wrestler, Jade?
Yeah. I think if we're not getting, if we're not having, like, let's say the title isn't vacated, I could see Jade versus Charlotte for the United States Championship. It's something Charlotte's never held before. Her kind of saying, like, on SmackDown, like, people keep saying I've done it all, but there's still stuff I haven't accomplished. Like
this makeshift title they just made like a year ago. Yeah, I haven't had that win yet, so I need to go get it.
Becky did a good run with it, with the IC title, right? So, like, maybe we've seen this before, where Cena's stepped down and had a US title run or whatever. So maybe Charlotte v. Jade for that.
I know what you just said, but Becky had a good run with the IC title. My brain just went to Lyra match with the fisticuffs to AJ Lee feud. So really,
go to the first Lyra matches though. They were good.
Yeah, but people don't forget, and I just remember that one. So I don't know. I still think these titles, yeah, you have men's versions. Why not have
I
women's
think
one,
she
but
still elevated them regardless
yeah,
of
I agree. I know.
the championship, you know?
Poking the bear a bit, but I'm like, oh, actually, that I hated that. I hated all the AJ Lee. That was for that title too, but I understand, and I think these titles are for helping make people. But Charlotte being in that title helps either way. So yeah, okay. Who wins this one? Tiffany retains, or you're thinking Jade gets the win here?
I think Jade gets the win.
Okay.
Yeah, and goes on a feud with Charlotte because
Right.
I don't think Jade can be losing. She's had her 2 losses against Rhea. You know, I wouldn't necessarily have her go on a losing streak right now.
But then what are you doing with Tiffany? Like she's only won this pretty recently,
She
right?
can, you know, she's got the will they won't they story with Chelsea. She can always go for the tag titles with Chelsea Green.
Okay. Yeah. We also have the men's United States Championship on the line. The champ Trick Williams defending against Ricky Saints. It's some NXT here.
I was a little disappointed Carmelo didn't win the match against Ricky to challenge Trick, but maybe that's a story that has more lore and story you can tell going forwards to do it at a different time.
Yeah.
I mean, Trick is pretty much a babyface at this point, but I find this a bit of a weird match.
Absolutely weird. Yeah.
Because I don't think Ricky Saints is quite connected yet. And this feels a bit of a just a weird clash. I'm not sure on this one. I see Trick retaining, but I almost feel this match is going to hurt Ricky more than help him.
I haven't loved Ricky since being in WWE. Like his NXT run was really wishy-washy of like, what even is this guy? And I felt like he was finally finding it towards the end, and then they put him on the main roster.
Yeah.
And then what was the clip I saw recently? So last week where they're like, oh, if that's going to put you over the edge. And he's like, oh, no, I've been near the edge before and I don't, or whatever. Like he made a reference to that one promo off with Cope in AEW.
Right. Okay,
and I'm like, brother, people will argue for years about what came first, the chicken or the egg, or did Ricky win that promo battle, or did Edge? And the answer is they both lost, but we all won because we got to witness it. But the fact that Ricky brings it up, I'm like, oh, brother, you think about that then, don't you? That haunts you, doesn't it, Ricky? that he said that to you, because here you are, clearly the word Edge made him bring it up. I was like, okay. I've not been loving Ricky. I do think he's good. It's just something's not connecting. Maybe a tag team would work better, like we saw with him and Ethan Page in NXT briefly. So I see Trick retaining. Trick is the babyface at this point. So we both say that Trick's winning. What about Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker inside a steel cage?
Yeah, it's doing this now, like this is the blow off match, so I don't see this happening at SummerSlam, so it's questioning what both of their direction is after this is maybe the more interesting thing. I would go with Braun Breaker, but I think it'll be Seth, and I think it'll be, you know, we've got a guy with a spear inside a steel cage. I could see the cage, you know, the spear through the cage. So Breaker has essentially destroyed Seth, but it's Seth's feet hitting the floor first. We haven't seen that for a few years. So I could see them bringing that back in a way that Seth can win, but Breaker still looks formidable.
Is that like the giant Vince or Bobby Lashley? Umaga,
yeah,
they break the cage.
They did it with them. They did it with Brock and Roman. They've done it a few times, but it's been a few years since they last did this, and I could totally see them doing that.
Like, I don't know. I can't figure out if they fumbled Braun Breaker or it was just never meant to be. I don't know what it is about this storyline. The Seth is just very nicely put, uninteresting to me. Yeah. I'm very not into. I don't know what they could possibly do to make me thrilled about watching these guys right now.
Injuries definitely hurt this, I think, like because it kind of almost feels like the Adam Cole MJF thing, where they feel the need to tie up the loose ends, but everything else has moved on, and we just want it to move on.
Yeah.
So where do you see like Seth's SummerSlam plans? Like, do you see him facing Roman? Is that like that's kind of talk that's been going around?
But okay, so if it's the winner of the King of the Ring versus Cody, you're thinking Seth versus Roman. We said a few weeks ago, like he could have won King of the Ring to get to that match, but they didn't go that route. I don't know. I imagine he's being used in a big match, as is, I'm sure CM Punk will come back after this Night of Champions cycle, but that's not necessarily the match. Seth and Punk, we've seen that beat to death, so I don't know if we'd go to that. But
like, I do see a possibility of Punk and Cody, and
this quick, okay,
and Seth, and Roman and Oba, but then what's it leave you with Seth? Like, does he still be fighting with the Vision? Do you just have him in some sort of 6-man tag with, like, do a 6-man plunder tag with the Street Profits against a formation of the Vision? It's not particularly interesting, but I don't know what you do with him and Braun moving on.
Maybe Javon Evans should have joined the Vision. That's why he lost. So maybe he does, and then we get Javon versus Seth.
Okay.
SummerSlam. I don't know. It would be a good match, maybe, if Seth finds enough duct tape. He can put on a good show. I don't know about this show on top to bottom of Night of Champions. I'm sure the triple threat will be the show stealer, but not exactly hyped.
I've got curiosity in the booking for a lot of this show. I could take or leave Trick v. Ricky. But
take a leave this whole pretty much this whole show other than that triple threat.
Like I'm interested in the tournament finals.
Sure.
As I said, more so for the booking than necessarily like what the match is going to be, but I've got some intrigue. But that main event triple threat should be good. Yeah.
Well, there you go. Night of Champions next Saturday. I'm sure we'll talk about that when we go live at some point on Monday or something. Again, follow us for updates on that. We're waiting to see if we can go. We'll do a show on Monday. We'll talk about Night of Champions. Talk about Great American Bash. We'll talk about some Forbidden Door. We'll talk about all the wrestling going on next weekend. It's going to be a big one. Even TNA.
Yeah, probably not. Probably not talking about that. With their new revamp. You know, Dreamer's out. Callahan's out.
Holy, everyone's out. Yeah. Everyone's got. If Tommy Dreamer's gone from TNA, then like, wow, okay, everyone's must be gone. I mean, maybe that's a good thing.
Is the dog in?
Is the dog? What do you mean?
Road Dogg taking over?
Oh, interesting. I don't know about that, but they need an overhaul of something. What's the reports of them trying to sell? It looks like that you should have sold when you had the chance, Charles, because now I don't know how I mean, actually, they're on AMC. So maybe AMC buys them, you know?
Yeah.
So,
I don't know.
Yeah. TNA gonna TNA. The cockroach of wrestling just never dies. If they didn't die then, they can't die now. But I think getting rid of some of these people, it might be an indicator of like they're gonna try some new things that might ultimately, like, if people are upset, which I don't know if they necessarily are, that some of these seem to be the TNA flag bearers are now gone, like your Sami Callihan, Tommy Dreamers, etc. Like, I think that also they could have been what over time what was holding them back.
I agree.
Ultimately, so like maybe a fresh direction is what exactly TNA needs. I'll tell you, I don't just crap on them because I think it's funny to entertain myself. That AMC debut was their one shot to not only get me to watch their show, but a lot of people. And it was so bad that I laughed at myself, like, fool me once, you can't get fooled again. And I did. So I'm like, I'll always revert back to that AMC TV debut because it's like, guys, really? Like, fuck, you had a chance.
I just love to, like, I'd love to see them think outside the box, you know? And
this is them doing that, I guess.
Like, they've got loyal, like, they've got their loyal fan base that what is it, like 200,000 that watch every week, regardless. Whoever's in control, whoever's champion, whoever's on the roster, whatever. And I just think, like, let's say it is Road Dogg. I just think it's a sideways move. It's the same. It's the same but different, you know? Like, move away from these fucking wrestling heads, these people. Like, I've said this with WWE, like, it's just, oh, this guy wrestled once, he must be able to book. Just, like, creatively think outside the box. And because it's, you know, talent's never necessarily been too much of an issue in TNA. It is the booking, it's the presentation, it's all that is a mess most of the time. And
absolutely,
and especially when there's so much more wrestling on there, like I don't need to watch NXT Light, you know, which is kind of what it is. You know, I've got hours of AEW to watch. I've got hours of WWE. I'd be more interested in throwing on a AAA or CMLL show before watching a TNA show. But you know what? The last thing that I can recall that really gave them a bit of a boost was the Broken Hardys stuff, right? And it got attention just because it was different. Now and that's not me calling to do, oh, they should do more cinematic matches and stuff. Not at all. But break the wheel a little bit. Think outside the box. Do something a bit different that people might go, TNA did something really different and interesting last week, because that's exactly the talk that was going around at the time with Matt Hardy. And people got into that and think that act got big enough that when they went to WWE, yes, they did the nostalgia act of just the Hardy Boys, but they wanted to give the Broken stuff a go because it worked and was popular. So that's what I think they need to do. Because just being the third company that does the same as the other two but worse isn't
way worse.
Working. Way worse. It isn't working.
I just like the discourse, not only in the last few days, but I just think since the AMC debut and stuff, and it's usually like Bully Ray, who's always like, oh, and I'm sure he's gone a little quiet of like, oh, wrestling right now is a little boring and all this stuff. I'm like, man, it's like you were in a match that you said was like one of the best matches of the year, and people online heavily disagreed with him.
Yeah.
And he took that to heart. And I feel like he's one of these big TNA defenders. And is he someone who's involved with them or running the show or at any capacity? Like, I know he was on screen there again, but after all these years. I
don't think he's got any capacity with them right now.
Yeah. It's like, I know he maybe was wanting them to go forward, but just TNA, they'll survive no matter what happens. If they get sold, they'll still have this TV slot, or eventually WWE just buys them. Tony Khan buying them would be hilarious, but I don't even think that's worth anything at this point. Like, what, the library that's been beat to death by their social team over the years. Like, any match you ever want to watch from TNA is on YouTube. So, like, what's the library at this point? It's out there.
I mean, the TNA library is more useful to WWE, I'd say, than AEW. Yeah. They have more of their talent, right? Or have had more of their talent over the years and stuff. But
yeah. So we shall see. The mystery of TNA goes on and on and on till the end of time. It'll never die. Someone who was really popular in TNA, Mr. TNA, AJ Styles, his son is making his in-ring debut.
Ooh.
Not in TNA, but, you know. Avery Styles, son of Hall of Famer AJ Styles, is having his debut match somewhere in Georgia, June 26th, next week, for SCA, the SCA Wrestling, Squared Circle Action, somewhere in Georgia, it looks like. So, yeah, feel old. AJ Styles' kid is going to be wrestling. Who knows? Maybe one day he shows up in NXT.
He did. AJ did say he put the gloves back on because you never know. He's like, I don't want to go back on my word. Right. And he said, you know, one day I might want to wrestle with my son. So we're a step closer of AJ Styles going back to the ring.
Nice. I wonder if he's going to do the Styles Clash. Right? Tuck
maybe.
The chin. Tuck the chin. Yeah, that's kind of all the stuff going on in the world of wrestling, unless you had anything else to talk about.
One thing I saw just before going live is in AAA, the like reboot of Los Perros del Mal was formed with Angel, Berto, Daga, Bronco Nima, and Carmen Petrovic attacking
What?
El Grande Americano. Yes. And
Okay.
reforming this stable.
Yeah, it's weird that there's some of these mix match characters, but this is AAA lore. This is AAA storyline, so it doesn't affect like the NXT versions of their characters, who some of these aren't really doing a whole bunch anyways. But make it make sense to me. I'm not quite sure what. Like, I know that this was a stable before, but now bringing it back and attacking El Grande, maybe they got some big plans for this group. But
yeah, I don't quite know how Carmen Petrovic is part of this.
A Canadian blonde karate master.
Canadian Bosnian, apparently she is.
Right. Yes.
But like we've been saying, like, she's been missing from NXT TV, so I don't mind this to give her something to do.
Yeah.
Bronco Nima, but no Lucian Price, and
he's still stuck in the mud.
More importantly, no little JJ.
Oh, is little JJ going to make his AAA debut?
They're still eating those terrible hot dogs whilst Broncos go to Mexico.
Who's that, little Cuminito versus little JJ?
There we go.
Okay, I saw the stable and I saw this attack in the clip of them attacking, and then I was like, wait, is that Carmen Petrovic? Which made me go look this up of like, wait, it's a whole new group. Berto. I like Berto, so that's pretty cool. OTM, I don't know if this necessarily breaks them up, but at least, hey, one of these guys got something to do. That was cool. A cool attack, trying a new stable. We'll see if it plays out. But never mind that shit. The video before that I saw of El Grande Americano, I guess this was before he was attacked, who makes his way through the crowd, where all like the crowd, he walks through and everyone's losing their minds. He comes out with a duck wearing a Team Mexico jersey. Now, do you know the significance of that duck from a few days ago?
Yeah, because the duck has been on these marches with the Mexican team, right?
Yeah, so here he is with this duck, and it's the most funniest shit ever. It gets a pop because, okay, I'm not saying this is the exact duck, but in my brain, it's the duck. They got this duck.
What is it,
it's
Merlin
him.
the duck?
Yeah.
I think the name is.
So it just shows
Merlin
him.
The duck.
It shows him arriving to the crowd, and he's walking while like petting this duck, and it is such an insane visual. Oh Amazing. Man, fantastic! Love it so much. So, awesome. There you go. That's all the wrestling from this week. We will be back in some way, shape, or form. Again, give us a follow if you use YouTube, Instagram, TikTok at PoisonranaPod. Click that follow, click that download if you're listening to us right now on Spotify or Apple or whatever podcast app. A download goes a long way. A like, a nice comment, even a mean one. It goes a long way, and we appreciate all the support out there from our frogs and our friends. We got a new up next this Tuesday night, and we'll be back with our Jackass review over on our Patreon, as well as our King of the Ring 96, and looking at WCW Great American Bash 96 as well. So tons of podcasts for your entertainment. Patreon.com/PoisonRana. Check out all the shows that we got, and you won't be disappointed with all the content that we keep creating. Go Team Canada. Happy World Cup. Happy summer. That is it. That is all. Take care. Goodbye, and be safe.
Ahoy!
Bruv.